A game I was thinking about that would be a great, I think, Oculus game.
I'm so scared right now.
It should be a little bit.
What are you going to say?
It's a serial killer game.
Oh, God.
Just listen to it. Please listen.
You can kill anyone?
Please listen. It starts out... I hate talking about ideas on this thing because someone's going to do this. You start out on a street.
It's already been done,
Okay,
I'm sure.
Listen, you're on a block and there's like 10 houses on the block. And you're like, Mr. Davey just moved in, and that's you. Your goal is to kill as many people on the street without people getting suspicious of you, and you can kill them any way you want, and it's an Oculus world. So there's like daytime and nighttime. You can sneak into houses and snap their necks, or like, you know, they could be outside mowing the lawn, and you can like, you know, run over them with your car, or like dig a hole.
Sounds like Hitman.
You know, I never played Hitman, but...
Well, you need to.
Well, I don't know what this Ite Man game is, but whatever.
You need to play Hitman.
No, but this is it's just a street, and everyone has personalities, and you meet everyone, and then they start to get, you know, then you could also start to blame it on other people, you know, and you
I have a question,
You
Greg.
take trophies.
Does it work in like real time? Like you're just at your house?
Yes, yes, it's 24-hour days. It's 24-hour days, so you can literally like just be in the house all day, and then you can be like, oh, I had to work, so you leave your character in the house. You come home from work, you pop on, and you go, you know what? I'm gonna take out Suzanne, my neighbor, tonight because she's being a cunt.
She's a bitch. What'd she
being
do?
a bitch, and her husband went on work vacation, so I want to go over to her house while she's in the shower. I'm gonna drown her, and then I'm gonna take a trophy home. I'm gonna just cut off a toe.
You're gonna drown her in the shower?
Yeah.
Are you gonna pull the plug first? Or are you gonna plug the shower first? Or?
I want to stick her mouth over the shower thing, and I'm just gonna fill her up with water.
Hey everyone! You're listening to Another Way Around, the AwayCast, episode number 34. I'm here. Yeah, I'm here with my good friend, Gregg Andrew Delarocca, joins me here.
Good day, everyone. It's me, Gregg Andrew Delarocca.
Thank you for joining us for the AwayCast Theater.
Yeah.
Also joined in Chicago on the internet by Joshua Hinkey.
I don't like that my distinction is by the internet. I want to be a good friend too. Can I also be a good friend?
Ooh.
Oh, shit.
Ooh.
Okay, hang on. Let's backpedal. Greg, it's great to have you here. Also joined by our great friend and pal from Chicago, our correspondent, Joshua Hinkey. We love you, bud.
What up, yo?
Oh, he's
better.
such a
I
great
enjoy that
friend.
more.
Man, you sound so handsome.
Yeah, you sound you sound like our great friend.
You are our great friend, Josh, and we're looking forward to seeing you next week. We haven't seen
The
you
second time. Let's hope it's as good as the first.
It will be. Hopefully, Greg makes another cool video
Maybe I will. Maybe I
for the
won't.
website.
No
Well,
promises.
we're probably gonna have a lot better coverage of PAX than we did of Comic-Con.
It's more our crowd.
Yeah, man, we're gonna go see our bros, bro.
Yeah. You know, it's a lot less of those nerds and more of the cool game nerds that
Hell
we're more
yeah.
into. You know what I mean?
I'm gonna be giving out so many high fives.
Yeah, I hear Max from the Xbox support line is going to be there giving out
I
Mountain
can't
Dew.
wait. Isn't he like I picture him to be like a giant robot, like from. Oh,
No, I picture him to look kind of like Guile from Street Fighter.
oh really?
Yeah.
Like that kind of hair, like really loud.
Yeah.
I feel like. What's your neighbor's name, Greg?
Which Lucio?
Lucio.
Lucio.
Okay, so Greg. Greg, tell me a little bit.
No, don't do this to me.
No.
You want
I
me to
think
talk about him? or-
Yeah, I think we should actually, because it's kind of funny. He's like that side character, kind of like the
He could
person
definitely-
under the
he-
stairs
he
from
could
the
definitely-
Monsters.
He could definitely hear us. We're being very loud.
Yeah, I can't tell how loud I'm being.
Yeah, you're being very loud. He definitely knows we're talking about him. I like him. I think he's a good guy. He's nice. He's a good neighbor to have. You could definitely
Like
have
State
worse
Farm?
neighborhoods. Yeah, like a good neighbor, State Farm. Yeah,
Lucio is there.
I got a good situation in my current building. Downstairs is my landlord, and he's a great guy. Next door are his parents, and they're wonderful. Everyone's pretty quiet in this building, and I don't think they mind me because we only do this once a week.
Well, I wish it was once a week.
All right. But yeah, no, my neighbor's a nice guy. He's a good guy. His name is
He's a good
Lucio.
guy, but I kind of wanted to force him being one of those characters, like
He's not
from a '90s TV show or an '80s TV show, or Spaced, where like they're this faceless character that kind of.
Look, I'll say this. I'm not gonna dodge this one. I'm kind of dodging it. He's a bit of a character, but listen, we'll get it.
I was wondering if you were just concerned that he could hear you.
Yeah, totally am. So we'll get to this one another time.
Greg, tonight when I leave, I'm gonna knock on the door.
No,
and
you're
run.
not.
I'm gonna bash on it. And I'm
You're
gonna
not
run.
gonna do that, and we're gonna go to the next topic.
All right, Josh, how you been, pal?
I have been good.
I've had the pleasure of hanging out with you recently on the internet. Even though you're still a good friend, and we still appreciate each other. I still care about you a lot, even though you're just the internet man.
Well, at least you know there's a physical me.
There is.
Acknowledge the fact we played a game together.
We did. Josh and I played our first game together. Greg, are you jealous?
Wait, what?
Josh, I guess you were the one that was going to break it to him.
What did you guys do?
We played a game.
Break it to Greg?
Wait, what did you guys play?
Josh, can you tell him?
You're going to shove this on me?
No. Just you do it.
Did you guys
Since you're such a good friend.
We played a little Elder Scrolls Online.
What? What did you play?
Yeah, we were on Mumble.
It was just a little.
It was just a little. We didn't even get to level 11.
What?
Well, Josh did.
You guys play without me?
Yeah.
Yeah, we were supposed to play Titanfall, but no one added me as a friend.
Listen.
We didn't get around to that.
Listen, Josh. I don't like that you're playing games with my friend over here without me.
This is a reality show situation right now.
I'm a little upset, I'm a little disappointed, and I'm a little bit nervous because I think I might be losing my best friend.
Greg, you have to put on some reality show drama music right now.
Yeah, I will. I'm just a little bit...
Yo, Greg, it's not Josh's fault that he likes to play games with me more better than you.
Listen,
I'm not trying to steal him. We just quested a bit.
I'm a little bit taken aback right now.
Listen, bro. We only had a few quests together. We were questing, and that's it.
Yeah, but it's cool if we were doing it together, but you did it with him, and that really bothers me a lot because before you guys were friends, me and you were friends.
What the fuck, bro? Mm-hmm. You want to fight? Mm-hmm. Dun, 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 dun. Commercial break.
Boom.
There it is.
All right.
Doritos.
Well, I think it's fine.
We didn't do it right. We should have started with you and Greg, and then I should have been brought on halfway through the conversation. You should have said,
all right.
I have been playing with someone else, and they say, well, let's bring him out now.
Oh,
now it's like Maury.
Like Maury.
It's funny we both thought Maury.
It's the Maury. That's the Maury talk show model.
What would have been great is if Greg and I were playing Titanfall, and then I was like, I have to go play Elder Scrolls. Josh just sent me a text, and Greg would be like,
"What? What is that?"
You'd have to be emotional about it.
What was that?
Oh, okay.
I don't know. Yeah, I don't know.
Showing the dynamics of your emotions.
I don't have many. I have one emotion.
So, Josh, besides Elder, before we get into games, of course, we always have to do our sewing circle of fun.
What have I actually been doing with my life?
Cipher.
Let's keep it brief. Let's keep it energized. Let's keep it communal. Let's all have a good time today, okay? Yeah. Josh, go ahead.
A lot of fucking requirements.
Yes, that. You want to be part of this? This is what we have to do.
Yeah.
All right. Okay. I went back home to Minnesota for a little while.
Minnesota.
Minnesota. Where they all talk like this. I'm actually really bad at the Minnesota accent, and so I can't even fake it.
Okay.
I went home for a little bit. That place is still fucking cold and miserable. I don't know. We went to go see the Muppet movie, which was fantastic.
Is that the one where Kermit is I don't know. I think I saw one commercial.
Is that the one for 5-year-olds?
Oh. The Muppets are an institution.
They're an institution.
We're on a video game podcast. And we're like, no, I've outgrown the Muppets, bro.
Yo,
listen.
No, do me a favor. Name one Muppet game.
I'm not talking about Muppet games. I'm just saying that we can't say we've outgrown stuff because we're still playing video games.
Because it'd be on the Wii U. Oh, hey.
Zing, 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 zing. Thank you, John.
Go
ahead,
That's
Josh.
It, yeah. And we went out for food and drinks and stuff for a friend's birthday and a going away party last weekend.
We just go to Chuck E. Cheese.
Yeah, it's fun.
Bam,
Boo.
Thanks for that energized enough. I'm sorry.
I mean, I can't even remember what happened the last 3 weeks. Oh, I went to my uncle's surprise birthday party. That was neat. It was a surprise. Yeah.
Yep.
It was a good Italian restaurant though.
Did he forget the year he was born or something? Did he forget?
Yeah. Surprise.
Birthday.
It's another year.
Ding, 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 ding.
Greg, what about you? Anything going on? I feel like I can't even remember the last 3 weeks because they've been filled with a drunken gaming haze.
Not so much for me, really. My last 3 weeks have just been. I went to the doctor. I went.
Well, Greg gets this yearly cough.
Yeah.
We call it the Della Rocca cough.
Yeah. Well, what happens is I've gotten for about 7 or 8 years. I get this cough every year, and it's a very aggressive cough. It makes it difficult to talk and sing and really communicate with other people.
Greg, are you a pilot in your free time recently?
No. But seriously, I found out last year that it's actually caused by by asthma. And I get an inhaler now. I look like a little inhaler boy now. So.
Yeah, inhaler boy. Do you wear it around your neck?
No, I don't.
Oh, you should.
Kids push you down on the playground and take it away from you?
I keep it hidden.
Keep it secret, keep it safe?
Keep it secret, I keep it safe. And
do you try and hide it when you have to use it? Like, do you
always
put one hand over it
I'll go
and
in the
look
bathroom
around?
at work if I got to take a puff, and if someone's in the bathroom,
I
just stand there and I just go, what are you doing? You going to the bathroom?
All right.
That's good.
Do you need a towel?
Please hurry. I got to
take a mint. I have some cologne.
Having a hard time breathing, so please hurry.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, but yeah, that's not all I've done. I played a couple of games. I have been exercising on my exercise bike that I got that you said I wasn't.
Oh, you're still using the exercise bike.
I'm doing. Let me just say, I'm killing it with my slogan 16K every day. I don't know if that's getting printed on T-shirts yet, but I am fucking nailing it because
you're doing 16K every day.
16K every day. Now every day is a little bit of a. It's more like every other day. But recently I did my bike while playing Titanfall, and I did 20K without even knowing.
That's good.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah. So I got that going on my bike. I really don't notice any results, though. I still feel like a gross piece of shit, but,
You still eating like a pig?
Yeah. Well, not really. No, I'm keeping track of my
you're eating
calories.
those Welch's fruit snacks.
Those are 100% grapefruit juice, or whatever juices that they use in there. They're 100% of them.
Right.
And, I think the problem is just like the way I look, and that's just how I'm going to do it. But it helps with going to sleep, though. If you do the bike before you go to bed, going to bed feels awesome.
Well, you take a shower and then you go to bed.
Yeah, like a
the
nice
shower
hot shower,
is key.
and then you're just in this perfect, relaxed, your body's just exhausted.
You're snug like a bug in a rug, Greg.
Yep. And you lay in your bed and you put on a movie, like you put on an old sci-fi movie, something that's just warm, something that's just gonna pull you into it a little bit.
It'll tickle you just the right way.
You pop Stargate on,
like an old uncle.
Put on some Stargate and you just lay there and you just melt into the bed. This is the only thing I can relate it to is being on a painkiller. It's a great feeling, Anyway.
All right. So I hope, Josh, I have to thank a few people for helping out with the website recently. Mr. Ben
We don't have to.
No, we do. Mr. Ben Quay wrote a couple of news pieces for us. So thanks, Ben. My buddy Pat, we said hey to him last time, but he wrote a really good Dark Souls. Oh, yeah, Dark Souls 2 we have to talk about for at least a minute.
No.
But Pat wrote a really good review on Dark Souls. It was kind of different because he's not accustomed to writing reviews too often. So it was cool to read. It was like a very, I called it a narrative review. I hope that was okay. But it's great. Definitely check that out because it was a fun read for Dark Souls fans. Josh, you wrote a Titanfall review, which was great.
Yeah, I read that. That was okay.
Actually, I'm going to take that as a sign of approval.
There you go.
That's not bad to get from Greg. You know that,
I think it's the highest the highest score I can get.
The last thing I read was Welcome to Dead House, the Goosebumps book in 5th grade, and then your Titanfall review. So consider yourself special.
That's like a 10 for your review, bro. So we have a lot of content on the site, mostly just news and reviews, but we're filling it out. So definitely, go check that shit out. We have. I was telling Greg our numbers today, and we actually have some viewers or some visitors who's showing faith, which is great.
Strange. The hits are all coming from Korea. I'm not sure.
Really weird. It must be.
Hey, we'll take them wherever they come from.
No, all from North Korea. I don't even know they had access to the internet there.
Yeah, it's weird. The IP is
I
to
hope
the
that
Imperial
we're
Palace.
part of a Korean English literature course or something where they're trying to learn English and they just found this site and they're like, here, use this site to learn English.
Titanfall by Josh Hinkey. But yeah, actually, we're pumping out good content. So I'm really excited to cover PAX next week, which is going to be awesome.
PAX, PAX. Go save everyone down to PAX.
So we're gonna bring all our shit down there, and we're gonna make something, right, Greg?
We're gonna make a baby.
Other than making that, we're gonna have a good time.
Yeah.
I'm excited to see your face again, Josh.
And I'm really excited for the three of us to go to a couple furry parties.
Hell yeah.
Couple brony
nothing but
parties.
furry
Brony
parties.
collectible card game.
Booyah, booyah, booyah.
Yeah, Josh, so you and Greg can go to those together if you want. So cool.
Yeah.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
Are we excited or no?
No, I'm really excited. I got a lot of things. I was looking at the list. A lot of things that I like the looks of, and I'm going to be checking out. I have a feeling though, because I've never been to PAX. I've been to a lot of other cons, and whenever I see something that I like, I always end up going there. And there's only like 3 people at it. And
what is it, dude? Like
I was looking
science
at
fiction writing for?
Well, yeah, a couple of those, but like, but like
how to shape your ears the best for us for a Stargate cosplay.
Those are the ones that are. There's no pointy ears in Stargate, but those are the ones that are usually packed. I'm talking about going to the ones like game audio in the industry, stuff like that. I'll go to somewhere or even like writing stories for games, stuff like that. I'll go to them. And there'll be like 4 people there, and it's and then the teacher doesn't want to do anything but like talk to one person about like something,
Yeah, I saw that game audio one. Looks cool.
A couple things
The stuff that's done by like developers and like actual like industry professionals is usually stuff I'm most interested in.
Yeah.
Like whenever I don't like the stuff that's super ambiguous where they're like, what's the future of the MMO? And I'm like,
Right.
I don't give a fuck.
Yeah,
and
those
it's not
are
going to be decided in this panel. I guarantee you that.
That's true. I remember one time I used to go to this con on Long Island called Icon, and they had this. This was I was younger. I was probably still in high school, and they had this Tolkien workshop where they you go there and you talk about Tolkien. This was like right when like the second Lord of the Rings came out, I guess. And I was really psyched, and I went, and I was like one of 3 people there, and the teacher was like this like long hair, like just picture what you think that guy would look like.
Gandalf?
Yeah, pretty much.
Just a stereotypical Tolkien expert.
Oh yeah, and he didn't talk. All he did was talk to one of the guys the whole time. I guess I'm basing a lot on this one experience.
I picture you walking to the room and he's sitting on a giant mushroom. He's with a long pipe.
But it's one that it's one that he made that's like really terrible. It's like this like paper mache. It's like it's like where he's sitting on it. It's like indented in. It's
all it is a chair painted with white dots on it. He's like, come to my mushroom and sit beneath me.
Yeah.
I remember that would be awesome if you were the guy, right? If you're here with like a Tolkien expert or like a sci-fi writing guru or something like that, and you go in and there's only 4 people and he just converses with you the entire time, you're like, oh man, the best free lecture that I've ever been a part of.
Yeah.
But when you're not, then it sucks.
That same year, I also went to a girls in gaming lecture, thinking that I was going to pick up some girl who plays video games.
Man, what were you thinking?
Well, I was young, and I didn't even get feminism back there, but that was a terrible. I mean, that was a packed lecture, and it was full of very frightening individuals. I backed the hell out of there.
I bet you it was all guys getting the wrong impressions.
It was mostly, and then a couple girls that had a lot of opinions, and I got out of there quick.
It was mostly like-minded guys who saw you, like who thought the same way you did.
Yeah, probably.
Probably trying to look for sweet Leia costumes.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, something like that.
So I'm jacked up for it. I don't know. I hope we all get there safe. It's like a 3.5-hour drive for us, Greg. And I just, when I start doing shit like this, I feel like I'm going to get there in the hotel room, something they're going to double book.
It's going to be fine, John.
We're going to sleep on the streets.
We're going to make the best out of it. No, we're going to sleep probably with some nice people we meet there if that doesn't work out. The only thing I'm worried about is Hinky, because he's taking an airplane, and airplanes have been going missing lately.
Yeah. Uh-oh.
So...
You'll take a nap. Well,
As I was flying to Minnesota, I had the same thought. I was like, oh God, here I am watching this stuff about a Malaysian plane. Granted, we're not on a Malaysian airline, of course.
You might be.
It would be really weird flying to Boston with a connecting flight in Malaysia.
Guys, I got a 32-hour flight to Boston from Chicago.
That's weird. I don't know. It was $14.
I paid like $3,000 for this ticket, and there's an 8-hour layover in Malaysia. It's weird.
A layover forever.
Yeah.
Possibly.
Okay, so
It's all right. There's a connecting flight then from Malaysia to Iran. It's going to be
Oh,
great.
perfect. You're a nice, safe trip.
maybe
Good
you can
luck.
rescue those girls that are prisoners over there. That's not Iran though. That's somewhere else.
Yeah, we're ignorant. So.
Yeah, I have no idea what I'm saying.
Let's not get into trying like political topics.
Yeah,
of
we
conversation.
haven't done this in a while, I guess. So
Yeah, we're just like
we're babbling pretty bad.
We're
I
just
think.
getting it all out. We're just
Yeah,
shoving
Greg's
it
been
out.
wanting to talk about that Malaysian flight for a while now, huh?
No, this is good. This is organic. This
Yeah,
is
it's real.
us being
Let it
us.
flow. Let it flow.
Let it flow. All right,
We don't. We had that problem where you got too regimented. Now we're just vomiting it
Yeah.
all out,
Deaf
and you have
poetry.
to listen.
Yeah.
So March is over. We got through a pretty big month since the launches in November, right?
Mm-hmm.
We're kind of waiting for good shit to come out, and good stuff came out. The last podcast we had was a few days before Titanfall, right?
Yeah, it was like about 3 days I think before Titanfall released.
Or something like that. I don't remember talking about it, but let's talk about Titanfall. I'm sure everyone's heard of this game by now. Yeah, that song was really good. We should have done something with it. Done a montage, done an Xbox record that, do a montage, put the Titanfall song. But Josh, you wrote a review for Titanfall, and it seemed pretty positive for someone that doesn't typically like multiplayer games.
Especially multiplayer, like first-person Twitch shooters. Like, our Titanfall is not my type of game at all, but of course I've been super intrigued since I played it at PAX Prime. And yeah, and it was exactly what we thought it would be, right? Were you guys pretty impressed in the same way?
Yeah, I mean, I'm just glad that it was the game that actually brought at least like 6 or 7 of my good friends back together to play games, and that's all I really ask for when a game comes out. But on top of that, it was really good. Obviously, the campaign had a couple of... the campaign was very disappointing. I think at this
It
point...
wasn't even a campaign. It was
Yeah.
a bunch of just corny dialogue thrown over multiplayer maps. It was weak.
Some whatever animation was there was good, but it was so brief. It was like
I
so...
didn't even watch it. Just fucking don't even put that in the game next time.
Right. I mean, we've talked so
Yeah.
much about Titanfall already, but I mean, the game delivered. I think it,
Oh yeah, I mean, I'm not disappointed by the game. I just think
We're still playing it
Don't
every
even
night.
waste time on that campaign shit. Just put, if anything, take all those ideas you had for the missions and make a real campaign as DLC, even if it's just a short one. Just do something more productive with it. That was just thrown in there as some bullshit, an extra mode. It was not.
Who said it? I think Mike said it. He'd like to do like a horde mode, but like it's all the Titans versus like a giant
Oh yeah,
Cloverfield monster,
yeah, that'd be sick.
or like a.
He also
Godzilla.
pitched an idea that you shut down pretty quickly, but I thought could be something good if they worked on it. They gave him like more life than normal. It was like a kill the Titan mode, like kill the president mode, where each team
yeah.
gets one Titan, and the objective is to
like a
kill.
VIP
cool.
mode.
Yeah.
VIT.
And they should. They should also.
Going back to the campaign very briefly, I thought that it needs a way to very firmly differentiate it from the normal game, which I think its campaign doesn't do. And like I said in my review, there's a lot of hints at stuff that is supposed to be dynamic, right? Like, now I'm forgetting the canyon level where there's those flying aliens that swoop in.
Yeah.
And you actually see one of them swoop in and grab a guy and take him away. And I like playing campaign mode. I would want that shit to happen. Like have aliens attack us. Have there be a third NPC enemy that we're fighting in between, or like cannon fire that's coming in and blasting us apart. If I'm not playing it competitively, if I'm not playing in the normal game mode, I'm far more open to having my game fucked with.
Right, like those Leviathans, like those would be sick if those were part of them. Like if they busted into the map and there was like a third enemy that had to be fought.
Those big brontosaurus?
Yeah, those like giant.
Yeah,
huge-legged,
exactly. Like that's exactly what I'm talking about. And like once again, there were hints at them having those ideas, right? Like that mission where you go and you don't evacuate, everyone blows up and dies at the end.
Yeah,
Right.
Like they could do way more stuff with that. That's super inventive. Like, you have those people going undercover and they're trying to shut down a turret cannon or turn a turret cannon against someone. And so you start off the game, you're super powerful because you have this like air force that's, backing you up. And then all of a sudden they complete their mission. The turret cannon starts firing on the air force and taking you out, and the tables turn on you. And suddenly you're super, disempowered. Now you have to like scramble to try and survive. Things like that would help make the campaign feel fresh.
As ambitious as Titanfall is and how it actually fulfills its promises in so many ways. Like you were saying with the campaign, I feel like they could have maybe made some modes that were exclusive to campaign rather than alternate attrition and hardpoint over and over
exactly.
again. Like you're saying, like maybe cap the guns or like, some sort of Battlefield Plants vs. Zombies, Garden Warfare-esque rush mode where,
I think it's very apt to compare Titanfall to like, you think of last generation and some of the titles that we saw in their first iterations that didn't feel fully realized and complete. It wasn't until the sequel we saw them, like
Assassin's Creed for one.
Assassin's Creed or Uncharted. Like playing those games, you go back and play those first games, you're like, oh man, this is rough. And even at the time when we first got those new titles, we're like, this is not great. But then they took a lot of those core ideas that did work, reworked them, like re-envisioned what they had, and came up with a much better experience the second time around. I think Titanfall 2 can do some really cool things. Maybe they do a single player campaign or a single player campaign that interacts with, the main game that they already have here. I think they have a lot of awesome tools at their disposal.
I mean, all that being said, Greg and I, we play almost still every night, and I'm still having a lot of fun with it. Yeah. Like, it's been a while since a game like this, aside from maybe Gears or something, had my friends and I meeting around the same time every night to play, which is fun. I think that, all these negative elements aside, that it I don't know, it does something for me. It tickles my jimmies. It functions very well as a shooter, and it functions very well with parkour integration into a shooter. And like the pacing of this game is unprecedented almost, aside from, games, I don't know, I guess PC games like TF2. But I mean, on this scale, just the pacing alone keeps you coming back. Like, I can't tell you how many times I'm playing with these guys and they say, Xbox record that, Xbox record that, everyone all night, Xbox record that. Yeah. So you're constantly getting like these demo reel cinematic moments from this game that like you probably won't replicate. So that says a lot, where like a lot of unique things are constantly happening that you want to capture.
The loop is incredible, and the nature of like what you're doing, the stuff that you can do organically, like where you're super jumping, like boosting yourself onto a Titan, you shoot down the Titan from the inside, and then the guy realizes you're on top, so he gets out, so you jump off the Titan, cloak yourself, come down behind him, and kick him in the back or something like that.
Xbox record that.
Yeah, exactly. Those moments happen so frequently and feel so good, and there's no game that I think can, like, when this game's at its best, there's no multiplayer shooter that can compare to it. Nothing feels so exhilarating as when it comes down to, like, you're playing attrition, you see that you're sitting at 395 and someone's sitting at, your opponent's at 390, and like the pressure that comes in and the stuff that the epic moments that are built in that time.
Well, I guess
are awesome.
I'm thinking you've never played Sneak King for the Xbox 360.
You've never really surprised someone with a cheeseburger.
Yeah, that's probably true.
That's the same way that you drop a Titan.
Sneak King, Xbox, record that.
Yes.
Yeah.
They also just patched the multiplayer, so they're going to do better matchmaking than they were.
Yeah, I saw that they integrated the matchmaking into attrition and hardpoint, which is great. So like level ones aren't meeting up with us.
That's fun though. That's fun when it's like our team of dudes and then no ranks on the other side, and we just completely
but we've also been crushed before.
That's totally fun for the crushers and not for the crushies.
We don't get crushed. We just get beat. And to us, when we lose, it feels like getting crushed because we never lose.
Yeah, that's true. I just have to say,
we never lose.
I did all my goosers. If you guys are familiar with the gooser challenge, that was a fucking grind.
Hey Josh, what gen are you?
I got to like the cusp of the second gen, and that's where I stopped.
So you're almost second gen, or you're almost third gen?
Almost second gen, and that's where I stopped. I got to level 49 or whatever.
I'm pretty much Gen 5, and John is Gen 8.
Yeah.
I have not had a lot of time to play that game since I wrote the review.
Yeah. So. Obviously.
Yeah, Jesus Christ. I don't even know if we should play together. Anyway, another game came out. Just kidding, Josh. Come on.
It hurts.
No, we have a friend. We have a friend who can't seem to level up either. His name is Mark, and he's pretty much stuck at level 34.
Well,
Gen
okay,
2
so
for
every time you
6 years.
every time you gen up, there's a series of challenges you have to complete to hit to the next gen, aside from getting your experience, and he didn't realize that, so he's got to get a bunch of shotgun kills, I think, right?
Yeah, shotgun kills. Yeah.
Something like that. But yeah, gooser kills, oh my god. So what happened was to get out of Gen 5 into Gen 6, you have to do this challenge where you have to kill pilots while they're ejecting, and their initial number for that to complete the challenge to move on was 50. And everyone was complaining about this, and it was so frustrating to do. And I did it, and now they're changing it to 5. Yeah.
That's what you get for trying hard.
Yeah, I'm a fucking tryhard. Josh, we also got to play PlayStation's big IP thing, Infamous Second Son.
Yeah, do you want to talk about that, or do you want me to talk about that?
You can lead it off, I guess.
Yeah, sure. You don't want me to talk about that?
Well, you can. When you see that game, Greg, what do you think?
I think it looks like, it's a wild ride, from the beginning to end.
Reading the back of boxes.
Lots of powers, lots of movement.
Just do all back of box quotes.
You got good story, and you have an exciting, fun environment that everyone's going to enjoy. Multiple scenarios, plenty of superpowers, and a thrilling narrative into the world of a teenage boy learning about love for the first time. Infamous Second Son.
Wow, where do I sign?
You just gotta pick it up at your local Funko Land, or whatever game store you got.
Your major game store.
They're resurrecting Funko Land just for this release.
So Josh, go ahead.
Yeah, so Infamous Second Son is the third game in the Infamous series, which had previously followed Cole McGrath. Super powered Delson, what's his last name?
Delson Rowe.
And he is, he's a fucking punkhead.
I think having it based in Seattle, they kind of follow that classic punk rock.
Yeah, you know what it actually was is that I upon reflection, I had this moment where, like, when I saw him and he's wearing like the stocking cap and the jean jacket with the flannel shirt underneath
and the buttons.
And the tight pants, and I was just like, oh, what a fucking douche. And then I had the realization that, wait a minute, this guy's actually probably cool to teenagers, right? Like the kids who are in high school now, this is actually probably like, oh man, he looks just like me. Fuck the police. Mm-hmm. And meanwhile, I'm like sitting there being like, oh, what a tool. But I'm old now, right? I'm too old.
But through the game, did you feel the same way that Delson was a tool?
What?
Did you feel that Delson? Well, you did good for your first playthrough, right?
Yeah, I did good.
Did you still think that Delson was a tool?
Yeah, I thought he was a tool no matter what.
See,
like,
maybe I'm vibing more with the high school kids because I kind of like them.
Hey, Josh, guess what? Me. Maybe you're the tool, bro.
Whoa.
Maybe you're the tool,
it just
Josh.
got real.
Ooh.
I have to say, I started my evil playthrough, and it's better. I like it better.
It's fun to be bad.
The interaction between some of the characters, I guess maybe it's not as good until you've seen the good one. But to see how it plays out, it's not completely different. The game doesn't change entirely. Like, you do have to choose those missions between good or bad, after you obtain, a new power or whatever. But it plays out, the dialogue plays out pretty differently, and like the cutscenes are different.
I did a chunk of the beginning on Evil just to get a flavor for it and see how it was different. And yeah, there are some nice things about it. In previous games, the Evil playthroughs have been super fucking dark.
Yeah.
But I feel like Delson is a little bit more of like, in the good playthrough, you're like, oh, he's just he's just won't be held down by anyone. And then if you do the Evil playthrough, he's more of just a mischievous rogue.
That's what it is. It's not so much like getting off on killing people. He's fighting against the cause. Right. So like the people, it's hard to talk about this without getting into depth about the conduits and the bioterrorists. That's the word I'm looking for.
Yeah.
So quick synopsis, go.
Well, and so you are part of a Native American tribe, which is awesome. It's very nice to not have the stereotypical white straight dude coming to save us all.
Right.
And he's much more playful, like you said, John, than Cole McGrath, who was literally cookie cutter superhero protagonist.
Yeah.
Right?
Oh my God. Cool.
Like, I'm so serious and no one understands the pain I'm in because of the things I do. Whereas Delson is a little bit more, he's having fun with what he's doing.
Well,
which is
I think you and I had a conversation, Josh, about how human everybody kind of felt. It was such a tightly woven game that the characters, you meet a few characters throughout that offer your powers. One being a chick named Fetch. Then there's Eugene, who's kind of like this Asperger's kind of like introverted kid. And then what's his brother's name again? Reggie.
Yeah, Reggie.
Reggie's his brother, and the main villain in the game is a woman called Augustine. And every one of those roles, Troy Baker has Delson, by the way, if you didn't know, but all of those,
and he's great.
All of those roles, from facial cap to dialogue, you can kind of just tell, Josh, you said it right the other day, that they all recorded it together. Like, they weren't recording in separate studios. You can tell there was this like very strong human element in the conversation. And I haven't seen that dip at all throughout the entire game. I've almost played through it twice already. It's something very convincing. It's something very convincing that you don't see too often, especially with this next gen game. It's so perfect to incorporate probably the most fantastic visuals I've ever seen on a console with such an accurate facial cap and like expression / dialogue thing.
I think The Last of Us was kind of the real like kickstart to this being in video games. But I think video game acting is finally starting to matter.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I coming away from that game, I still don't think the writing's great. I think that the narrative's all right, but I think like the individual dialogue has some work. But I think that the actors actually elevate that story. I think that the voice acting, the motion capture is so good that you almost don't realize the dumb stuff that's being thrown at you, because the actors are delivering it in such a good way.
Yeah, it felt like watching like a really good sci-fi movie, like Gregg was saying.
Yeah, or also kind of similar to the Nolan Batman movies, and people can hate me, but like Christopher Nolan doesn't write great stories actually, but he has a lot of fantastic actors who take his crazy ideas and make them work because those actors are really great.
It's funny how you say that, because that's exactly how I feel about The Last of Us. Like, I did not really care for the story as I did as much as like character development and their interaction.
Yeah, and I think that's could be fair to say about The Last of Us too. I mean, we're finally getting to that point. Motion capture is finally allowing that to happen, and that's really great. And then, putting all that stuff aside, the gameplay in Infamous Second Son is actually just very similar to the gameplay from Infamous. Like, you have multiple powers, you can use them at range, you can get up close and melee. The powers are different, but they're not extremely different. You basically have the same like staples through. You have like a ranged attack, you have a grenade attack, you have a super speed. And so to do the different stuff is cool. It basically aesthetically it's different, but gameplay functionality, everything is the same. And
I don't want to ruin what powers you get, because that's part of the fun. Like when they revealed the third power, it was really neat. It was very off the grid, kind of different. I never would have tagged it for that power, but they use kind of abstract things for powers this time around, rather than just electric or fire or whatever. So I thought that was very creative.
Yeah, they do a good job of playing with their own superhero world and not falling too much into those cookie cutter ideas of like, this guy shoots lasers out of his eyes and this guy is invincible with super strength.
Well,
the powers they come up with are smart.
The game itself, like power fantasy type games, I love them. Games like Crackdown, Greg and I used to play that together all the time. Crackdown, games like coming off Saints Row recently.
Yeah, I was gonna say Saints Row 4 is the distinction I made.
So, like jumping into an open world power fantasy, Infamous keeps it grounded in a way that kind of makes it feel like an X-Men movie.
Yeah.
But they don't go too far as something like Saints Row, where it's like completely over the top. Where Infamous really loses me is their complete lack of innovation gameplay-wise. It brought the game down a few notches for me because I had so much fun. Visually, it was stunning. The character interaction, stunning. Like, everything was stunning, and then I was treated to kind of like this, okay, go here, kill these bad guys, it unlocks this part of the level. Now that you've unlocked this part of the level, you can do these 5 side missions. Okay, collect these things. Okay, next area, do the same exact thing over and over again with increasing difficulty. It kind of was like, damn, like they were so close to having something new. But I think that's something that we're accustomed to seeing with new generations of consoles. Even in the beginning of, previous generation, they kind of just played it safe while giving everyone an experience that they can be familiar with, but also enjoy all the benefits of having it being next gen, graphics.
I agree. I also feel like Infamous has a lot of problems with its choice. Like, I would put choice in quotes almost when it comes to this game. Because literally at the beginning, it should say, do you want to be good Cole or bad Cole? And you just play as good Cole or bad Cole. Because the actual choice that's in there is not great. All of that's like, because it punishes you for mixing it up. If you finally get to a place where you're like, oh man, I want to do the bad thing, you're going to get punished for doing the bad thing. Right. It doesn't help you.
Once you've chosen bad, like it's not like Fallout where there's neutral karma or anything like that. Like, from when you make your first decision to be bad, you're bad. From when you make your first decision to be good, you're good. I mean, not literally, but I mean, if that's how you're going to play the game, there's no middle ground. There's no gray area.
Well, and if you choose gray area, the game actually punishes you. It like stuff won't unlock. Your karma won't karma meter won't get to where it should be, so you're not going to get the achievements that you want. Playing choice-based RPGs, the middle ground is always where the best writing is. And I think this is probably one of the reasons why I struggle with Infamous is that because you're forced to do either very good or very bad, the game's writing often plays out like, a very bad, like poorly written superhero narrative where it's like, oh, you can't do this. Well, okay, I guess you can do this. No, I'm going to do this. All right, we're behind you. And, that just happens every time, which is... The game has interesting choices in there. There are points where you can choose to do horrible things when you're a good person, and it's pretty much justified. But because of the way the mechanics are built, and Infamous has always been like this, because of the way that it structures itself, you won't do that. And so I don't even know why it's a choice anymore. They should just do away with it.
Yeah, like choose at the beginning, you can play 2 different games.
Yeah, exactly.
Well. But we didn't do a review for that. We were going to do a video, but we never did it. But I think, it's definitely the game everyone's been waiting for a PS4. If you have a PS4, you should be running out to get this game because it is fantastic. But it fell short in a few areas that I rooted for it to do well. Even same thing for Titanfall. Like, another excellent game that's like, pioneering in certain ways, but in ways that I hoped it would pioneer, it kind of fell flat in the campaign.
I felt like they delivered the exact same way. Like, they both were technically fantastic. They pretty much delivered the promises that they said they were going to, but the stuff that people had kind of extrapolated from like videos and had kind of really hoped would be elevated, it didn't quite get there. But hey, we're at the very beginning of this generation, and this is a great way to start it.
Well, what's great right now, especially we all watched E3 last year, and we were all excited about new consoles, new games, and we're finally in the middle of what all those promises were. We're finally in that shitstorm where soon Destiny is going to be coming out, and soon The Order is going to be coming out, and soon all of these promises. Well, we'll see if Watch Dogs comes out.
Fingers crossed.
I'm just hoping that we just keep pushing the boundaries in these areas that we're hoping for, rather than staying so cookie cutter in certain areas. But I love both those games. I forgot to put down. I didn't really play Mercenary Kings enough to really talk about it. I probably put an hour and a half in. But PS Plus is offering Mercenary Kings this month, and if you have a PS4, I would definitely say get it. It's the same guys who did the Scott Pilgrim vs. the World game. Same art style, really good music. It's a little odd how it plays. I got to be honest with you. I'm starting to realize how even technical but simple it might be. I'll save it for another time, honestly. But
I'm very intrigued. We'll play.
We'll talk about it. So, Greg.
Yes.
You said you played another game, and I'm curious to hear your opinion before we go out on my long-winded, fantastical opinion. Is
Bioshock. Burial at Sea Part 2.
Burial at Sea Part 2. The shark is a value.
The shark is a value. I listen. That's not. I don't want to get the wrong impression here. I had a hard time with the ending of the game because I wasn't as focused as I would have liked to be. And once John explained to me what the ending meant, I got psyched because it made sense to me. But besides that, the game itself it's always good. I love it. That world is like one of my favorite worlds to be in always. And Bioshock always has this really weird effect on me that it's like I'm gonna call it the day after effect, where it's like I'll play Bioshock, and then the day after I play Bioshock, I kind of just can't stop thinking about that world and how I wish I was there in that world instead of this one, and how I think about just turning the game on just so I can kind of
build a circle.
Just because I kind of want to just go back
to
this
by and by.
This world, and
by and by.
It's a weird thing because it's always the day after, but I miss it right now thinking about it. Something about the lore and the characters and the look and feel of everything. It's just a great place to be, and I definitely would say anyone who hasn't played those games, you're a fucking idiot, and you should, and because they really are just it's great stories, great atmosphere. Get down with the Bioshock.
Josh, did you play?
I did. I very much enjoyed it. I don't even think we talked about playing episode 1. Episode 1 of Burial at Sea almost feels like a footnote, whereas playing episode 2, the opening of episode 2 immediately had me, and I was like, oh, they found their feet. They know exactly what they're doing, because Bioshock mechanically has always been fairly vanilla, right? It doesn't do a lot of stuff that other shooters don't do.
Right.
But atmospherically, it's fantastic.
It's
and
the best.
that's the real sell. And the opening of that game is 100% pure atmosphere.
I spent like 20 minutes walking around that little French village, just talking.
Yeah.
I was talking to people there. I was like, bonjour.
The kid running around with the bread.
Yeah, I was running around. Hey, bonjour, just and it was. And the thing about Bioshock is you always go the way you're not supposed to, because you just want to look. You want to look at everything. Because you don't want to miss anything.
Everything has substantial meaning.
Yeah,
everything.
You're looking for those Easter eggs. You're trying to find the Lucettes. You're trying to see
Lutesses, Greg.
Sorry, the Lutesses. You're trying to see if there's going to be like a poster or a picture of something that there's going to be a bird in a cage somewhere. Something that's gonna.
And they're there too. They never fall short on those promises.
There's always something to find,
Well, and it's also part of just taking it, the atmosphere is so great that you're just stopping to smell the roses.
Mm-hmm.
And it's really funny, playing, Titanfall and Infamous Second Son, going back to playing Xbox 360 and PS3 games, I feel like I'm going backwards. Whenever I have to, turn on the PS3 or the Xbox 360, especially for a game that's supposed to be technically competent.
Yeah, I had to adjust, man. I had to adjust for a minute. There's
exactly
that whole first sequence. What I did notice was that opening sequence in that game. It's kind of blurry on purpose. It's that feeling that you realize a little bit later that it still looks decent. It still looks good.
Yeah, well, and I feel like Bioshock
tricks to
they make up for being technically lacking with really smart choices.
Right.
They put emphasis and draw your eyes to the right things, and that's just smart design choices.
Yeah.
I felt that the stealth stuff that was in Bioshock episode 2, Burial at Sea, don't play as well just because some of the restrictions of it not being a stealth game.
Right.
That being said, it felt very refreshing to be doing that instead of episode 1, where you're just doing Bioshock Infinite stuff in Rapture.
They almost made it too easy, the stealth with the peep show vigor, pretty much being free. to use all the time with no cost. No
I
like
barely
summoning
use
cost.
that thing.
I use it all the time. I was invisible all the time, just smacking people in the head. That was like my whole.
Oh, you went invisible?
I didn't use any weapons I didn't kill anyone with a gun the entire time.
Well, you should have played it in 1998 mode then, because it's an achievement not to kill anyone.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I killed the whole time. I just would beat people. That's it. I didn't use one
Yeah,
bullet.
you just wait for him to come around and club him with your.
I would use the peep show. I would just sit there, visible, check where everyone's coming, visible, and it was fun to play like that. But it was almost too because it got to the point where when you find the right upgrades, you don't need to use the vigor anymore to use the abilities. You can just use them for free. So.
Yeah, I was able to just basically use it like a radar, and I didn't have to spend to use where you can see everyone around you.
Eventually,
then I basically use that to run around and knock everyone
eventually,
out.
if you get the second upgrade, you can be invisible, but you have to stand still. Like it costs no vigor. You can just stand still and be invisible. And I would do, and the enemies are so stupid that like you can like literally they can see you and walk up to you, and then you just go invisible right in front of them, and they're like, "Where'd you go?" And they'll just like walk around in circles looking for you.
So, after that game ended, I kind of had a period of reflection. Obviously,
the circle
obviously, you guys know Bioshock means a lot to me. And after I finished that game, and I had the feeling, Irrational's gone soon. This was the last part of canon Bioshock as far as I'm concerned. And I have to say, like, there's nothing that comes close to atmospheric experience or just sheer pleasure of enjoying a story. Nothing comes close than Bioshock to me. Like, nothing even comes close to it. There are beats in Bioshock 1 and Bioshock 2 and Bioshock Infinite and the DLCs that are written to tie together. And when things are done in hindsight like that, and when things are tied up and you barely realize, and it's done so fluently and done so professionally, where you don't even notice until you gasp, it's like it's those oh shit moments when you're a kid and you see magic. Like, you just don't know. You can't believe it. And to me, that happens frequently in Bioshock, and every time it gives me that shit-eating grin where I'm just like, they fucking did that. Like, I can't believe it's so goddamn good. So I'm really hoping that down the line somewhere that it's recreated. Like, I'm hoping that one day I can play this in like future generations. Just to experience it all again. But it'll be impossible to experience it the way you do for the first time. And there are some serious tie-ins that I think they finished it perfectly. I think they put a little bow on it and they said, there you go. And I couldn't be happier with the end of it. Most folks have issues with Bioshock and it's going, well, it's another shooter. It's just another shooter. It's a shooter, Greg. What are you going to do? Play Call of Duty? It's a shooter.
It's just a shooter, guys. It's the same old shooter as Call of Duty.
To me, Bioshock has not been just a shooter. It's been this crazy narrative, atmospheric ride that cannot be topped probably ever for me. So,
and you will be missed. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Will the circle... Dude, their use of music is fucking insane.
That's pretty good.
Just... Like, if you took the gameplay, I like the gameplay in Bioshock just because it's a nice add-on to a wonderful narrative. But from music to historical accuracies to just manipulating pop culture, they did their fucking research, man. Like, there is not... What John Hammond say in Jurassic Park?
He said...
Spared no expense.
This mosquito was stuck in a sap. And you can extract dino DNA from it and create a dinosaur.
It seems like when they were creating Bioshock, they never cut corners. It may have changed in the design process, but they never cut corners to make it the best thing that they could possibly make. So it was fucking great. And that's why I have a goddamn lighthouse tattooed on my forearm.
Oh, that's why he's got a lighthouse
Tattoo
on his fucking forearm.
Josh.
We should have ended with that. It feels like whatever we talk about now is going to be like, yeah, and then we played this other game.
Yeah. Well, the next 3 games I have to talk about on our list here, they're all very good, including Goat Simulator. So let's tail Bioshock with Goat Simulator.
That actually feels like the only thing that can follow up to Bioshock. I have not played Goat Simulator. Is it good?
This is another one of those deep narrative games.
Yeah, so
John
I figure
likes.
we can talk about, listen, they did not cut corners in this game. You are definitely getting a visceral goat experience, 1 for 1. The music, the atmosphere, it's like unprecedented. That's why I have a tattoo of a goat on my arm.
Will the
right next to the lighthouse? Is it a goat entering the lighthouse? You know what they say, John? There's always a goat and there's always a lighthouse.
There's always a goat. There's always a lighthouse. Goat, goated, will goat.
So, John, is this just like one of those games where it's like you're trying to create as much damage as possible and you get points for it? Is that what you're doing?
It's a basic. Well, okay. So it started off. It's the company that did. Josh, do you know the company?
No, I don't.
They did. Damn it! I sound uneducated and ignorant. Anyway,
Right,
it started
just
as a
go
game.
past
It started a game jam game. Kind of like this physics. Goat fest.
like those challenges in
Saints Row.
Saints Row, you got to hit the Kaz.
Yeah, the insurance fraud missions. That's what I'm looking for. But okay, so it's basically that. You could stick your tongue to things and whip it around, kind of like reminds me of like tethering stuff in Gary's mod.
Mm-hmm.
So basically, you can run around this small town that they have built for you, where there's all these funny things set up, like people having parties, and there's like a house, and everything is just silly. It's just silly. So you're this goat, and you could and you could like send yourself ragdoll, hold right mouse button to like enable you to do backflips and front flips, and it is just completely ridiculous. So the more points don't even fucking like they don't matter. So there's always challenges for you to complete, like do 3 backflips, do a whole bunch of stuff, because like they couldn't really think of like a gameplay hook to attach to this, so I guess they were just like put in a score meter and some funny challenges. But it reminds me of Tony Hawk in that sense, because there's little things that you can do throughout the world that are set up for you to like explore and discover.
Yeah.
So it provides some pretty fun entertainment. There's also kind of this like secret storyline. I'm not kidding. Like once you start discovering it, you start following the steps to discover it, it becomes ridiculous.
Is it like you are a man turned into a goat or something?
No, but you start unlocking other things aside from goats. I'll just say that.
Do you?
Oh, that's interesting.
Can you play with other people or other goats, friends?
No.
Oh,
No, you can't.
you think they'll add that one day?
Maybe. Well,
when did that be fun?
It's open source for Steam Workshop, so like people can make.
Wouldn't it be great if we could all hop on our favorite barn animals? I can be a.
It would be such a mess.
I could be a little piglet, you know.
But it would be a beautiful mess. It would be a great mess.
Josh could be you'd be a horse.
Okay, I'm gonna do one spoiler right now. So far, one of my favorite animals to be a spoiler. All right, turn it off if you don't want to hear. Goat Simulator spoilers.
Here we go.
I unlocked a giraffe.
Oh,
dude, it's so. When I spawned as a giraffe, I was like, "This is fucking
Is
fantastic."
it like a long neck attack?
It's a giant giraffe. No, you can ragdoll with the giraffe, and like if you jump into cars and if you jump into like propane tanks, you fly like thousands of feet.
Does your
in the
neck
air.
fly all over the place?
Yeah, it like flails all over, and it's like a fucking.
How do you get in the? Can you get in the house as a giraffe? Can you get in there?
I don't know if I tried.
Can you try to squeeze through the door?
You probably could.
Yeah.
The game is about like they released this game with kind of the information on their website saying like, listen, we made this in like 3 weeks. It's a buggy mess, and we're not fixing any of it.
Yeah. What kind of vehicles?
I like
can you
the
unlock?
honesty.
Any vehicles that you can unlock?
Well, I think the vehicle is the goat. You know, Greg. The goat is really the vehicle.
That's deep. That's
No,
a
I want to
metaphor.
see a
That's
goat
deep.
drive a tractor. I think that is
I want to
really
see
where
a
I
goat fly a fighter plane, like an old 1920s fighter plane.
Yeah, he's like,
like a dog fighter, like a World War I dog fighter jet.
It would be a goat fighter jet.
He's got a scarf flying behind him, and he's got those leather glasses on.
And it's like every time he shoots, instead of the gun noise, it makes the goat noise.
That'd be a funny Looney Tunes sketch.
I would play that game.
Yeah.
$10. I think it was worth $10.
But yeah, it's not on Mac though.
Yeah,
so
it's on Windows
suck
only,
my
which is
D.
kind of shitty. I was playing it on my laptop, but yeah, you can like. There's all these funny jokes. Like if you blow up the gas station, it's like Michael Bay and like times 10. You know,
Okay.
and it's full of like tongue-in-cheek humor.
I get what
like
they
that.
did there because Michael Bay does a lot of explosions in his movies.
Yeah,
I get that.
Yeah.
Okay.
What else? There's lots of cars. You can get hit by cars, and I like tethering the tongue to stuff, and like you can grab a person with your tongue and like run around the map, and they're swinging all around.
Mm-hmm.
Do they scream when you do that?
Yeah, there's people screaming.
Oh,
There's
that's
people
funny. I
holding
like
protest signs for they're fighting against penis-shaped foods.
Can you talk to the
I like
humans?
this. Keep asking me questions about Goat Simulator.
Can you
I like
talk
this.
to the humans?
You can't. You can but you can't talk.
Oh, that's funny. Do they respond to you?
I don't know.
Is there like one special human that can like little Timmy? He's like, I can understand you, goat.
No.
That would be awesome.
Each human is named. So like when you hit someone, it's like you hit Jake.
Yeah.
Oh, that's good too. I like that.
There's also a little thing upstairs. If you go upstairs in one of the houses, you can play.
I saw this.
Yeah, you can play a famous game that's big on iPhones right now.
It's the bird game.
Yeah, it's
Floaty
about
bird.
a bird that flaps his wings.
But it's with a goat head and he has the toaster body.
Yeah,
Right?
John, we don't need to worry about spoilers on Goat Simulator. I think we're going to be all right.
No, I got to be honest with you. Like half the fun of that game is being surprised by the stupid shit they included.
Discovering stuff?
Yeah, I swear.
From what I can gather here, it sounds like the real draw of this game is like basically you put down your $10, just, the same amount that you could go see a movie for. And for 2 hours, you just hop on here and just dick around and play around with it, kind of enjoy yourself. And then you're going to walk away and never pick it up again.
Are you
right?
going to come back to it, John?
I don't think I've explored everything.
But when are you going to go back to it?
Probably in the next couple of days.
I got to ask you, if it was multiplayer, how often would you be in that world?
Well, I think of how often I played Gary's mod with friends.
Right,
and,
that's exactly what I was thinking of, like Gary's mod.
Like
you always get in there and you go, you know what, guys? Let's make each other laugh.
Yeah, I think we could do a solid, like a week-long stint where we played Goat Simulator an hour and a half a night.
Yeah.
I don't think you could play that game for hours at a time.
No. 1.5 hour max.
I think I probably put about 45 minutes into it at this point.
Yeah.
Okay.
And all the fun I was having was like finding the little developer funny things in there. And like the secret kind of story that you have to go through it's fantastic. Like it's so funny. And as you're going through it, it's like breaking the whole game as you're progressing through this like faux story. But you're also unlocking other, I'll say, animals.
Do you unlock a dog?
I haven't seen a dog yet.
Do you unlock a?
You keep asking me questions, and I'll try to. I have not seen a bear.
A tiger?
I've not seen a tiger.
Lion?
No lion yet.
I'll ask one more. Do you unlock a sloth?
Nope.
One more. Do you unlock a zebra?
I haven't, but that would make sense.
Yeah, it seems like it's in the same
All right,
vein.
think of like a crazy animal that you wouldn't think.
A hippopotamus.
All right.
A dolphin.
Oh, you're getting close.
A whale. It's killer whale.
Leave it at that.
Oh, we got an orca, guys. We got an orca.
Did you just flop around? That would be funny. You just flopped around as a whale.
What a fantastic idea.
Dude, it's so funny. It's not an orca, I'll tell you that. But
it's a sperm whale. It's a
The
great
humpback.
blue
this game,
just crushed
I kind
whale.
of almost wish more games did like there were more games like this where it was just like, oh, what was that game that came out that had the Top Gun-esque humor in it? You played it, Josh. We talked about it on Steam. It was Jazz Punk.
Oh yeah, Jazz Punk.
Shit like
Yeah.
that. Like I wouldn't mind spending $10 for comedy, and that's what Goat Simulator is, and I think it's well worth $10. Greg, we'll play it during PAX. I'll bring my laptop.
Fantastic. I can't. I'm looking forward to being a little floundering around, flipping around as a little flounder. Is that what it is?
No.
Is it a salmon? I'm gonna.
No, you had
flap
it before, but you just said the wrong type.
Of
Don't. We'll leave it at that.
Of whale?
Done.
I named every whale.
Josh, earlier in the episode, Craig,
it's a narwhal.
A narwhal. Narwhal.
So, Josh, earlier in the episode, we made Greg very sad by telling him we played a video game together.
Yes. The good old Elder Scrolls Online.
Elder Scrolls. Josh, you are reviewing this for another game site, which we will not say on our damn podcast. But I figured I'd piggyback.
Which one is it? Is it the European one?
No, that doesn't exist anymore.
Yeah.
We played Elder Scrolls Online together.
Yes.
Take me through the journey of Elder Scrolls Online. Tell me, you've played Skyrim, you've played Oblivion. Did you play the old Elder Scrolls games before?
I played Morrowind, and that's as far back as I've gone.
Greg.
Yes.
I couldn't.
Hold on, just. Yes. Greg, you've played Elder Scrolls. You've played Oblivion. Sorry.
I've played them all, man. I've
played Skyrim.
I've been in those worlds, and I've owned them, and I've really been. They've been a big part of my life.
Are you planning on getting ESO?
Hang on, Rick's calling me. Yes, I am planning on it, and I'll be back in a minute.
All right. Well, Greg's gonna get Elder Scrolls, I think, too, Josh. So maybe if
cool,
we'll get our free month out of it, and we'll keep going. But shoot, what character did you pick? What does it offer? How many golds do you have?
I've played a ton of this game. It feels like I've been playing a ton of it for a really long time, and not just a ton now.
It's got to be difficult.
I spent 40 hours with the beta.
It's got to be difficult to set yourself up to review an MMO. First of all, that's something I've never done.
Yeah, it was a very daunting task, and something I started playing the game, and I was like, oh fuck, what I get myself into, because it's huge, and and you said it perfectly, John. This feels bigger than any MMO I've ever played before. And MMOs feel big to me to begin with. I'm not a giant MMO guy. I find them fun, but the fun I find in them is usually getting in, kind of playing around with the characters I can build, the worlds that they present to me. I like meeting up with friends and running around with friends for a little while, which is strange because I'm not a huge multiplayer person. But
hey, we've been having fun together, though. I enjoyed.
We had fun.
Yesterday was a lot of fun.
I have another friend who's playing, and I love playing MMOs with him. And so that's kind of what I enjoy. So to be playing this game with the intention of starting from 0 and going to the level cap, is huge. Is difficult for me to wrap my brain around. But progress is happening, and it's going, and I'm feeling I'm constantly up and down on this game. And in the sense of I like it, and then I don't like it, and then I like it, and then I don't like it. And that's how I felt since this thing was announced. Is I'm oh, I don't know if I really want an Elder Scrolls MMO. I don't know if that's what I want in that world. And then I go, well, at least it's Elder Scrolls. It'll be cool to jump back in and have the Khajiit and the Argonians and the magic and stuff like that. And then I'll play the game. I'm oh yeah, this is fun. I like building my character, and I like running around and just doing quests. And then I'll hit a point where I'm oh, fuck this game. Why is it built like this? This doesn't make sense, and this doesn't make sense. And part of that is what the Elder Scrolls is. And let's face it, even Skyrim, Oblivion, and Morrowind come with their fair share of bugs that you just get used to, right?
Right.
I think their markers are sometimes pretty unclear. There are just bugs in the game. There are quirks, and some people love them all the more for it, right? But I think that
Craig, what are you doing?
How you doing, Greg?
Greg's playing the Dovahkiin. Is that what it is, Greg? A Dovahkiin song? Greg, we have a higher budget than this. You don't have to play it out of your cell phone.
It was really funny because it just sounded like someone breathing.
You'll hear it on the end of the podcast.
I hear it. Here it comes. No, so I'm going to keep describing it over this music. This is perfect. So
Josh is trying to talk. You can't tell that you're blasting that.
Sorry. But actually, I want to butt in, Josh. I want to interrupt you because I walked away for a second. And before you guys get too into this, I really have to put a request in here. Or actually, more or less, I'm inquiring about something specific.
All right, Jeff Goldblum, slow down.
are you guys willing to start over with me?
No. I've started over 3 times. You'll catch up very quickly.
Listen, I don't want to go into that world alone.
I will give you everything you need to get started.
You're gonna give me some like cool armor and
Dude,
shit?
my blacksmithing's high. Not high, but like.
So you're still gonna guide me through the world though.
Of course. We'll get on Mumble together. That's what Josh and I have been doing. We've had our Mumble relationship.
My Mumble setup sucks 'cause I don't have a good headset. I gotta like set up a microphone on a stand.
Can you buy a headset?
Yeah, I guess I have a job. I can do that.
You can buy one of these ones for like $20.
Yeah. So in the beginning, you go through like the tutorial quest, which is kind of optional, and it's really weird to start up like an Elder Scrolls game and there's other people running around.
Yeah, I mean, these games have always been predicated on the fact that like the isolation of them is their best quality. It is you just very much going through this world. They're atmospheric, very much in the same way that Bioshock is.
Oh, don't do that, Josh. John is always going to be mad.
I mean, my favorite thing about
atmospheric but convoluted. Go ahead.
I like just walking through those worlds. I like just walking through.
I do too, Josh. I do too.
I can agree with you there. So to get this out of the way, I love what exploration feels like in the Elder Scrolls games, and that is not lost in Elder Scrolls Online, which is the reason I think Greg, you, I, and Josh will have fun playing it together, is because of the exploration stuff. However, when I go to talk to these people and hand in quests and they go to explain what I have to do, I skip everything because I have almost zero tolerance for the lore.
That's
in this
okay.
game.
That's how you want to play the game. That's fine.
Right.
You choose your level of involvement.
Right.
Yeah. I think that's fair.
You don't have to get...
And like, even as I'm going through, like, I'll skim the text, and then I was telling John, I'll edit what they say because... And this is true of a lot of MMOs, and especially a lot of lore-based games in general, is they feel the need to over-explain something. They'll introduce the topic, explain how the topic relates to them, explain how you relate to this topic, and then summarize it all up. And that's probably about 3 paragraphs of dialogue. You can just be like, oh, go kill something? I'll do that.
All of the Elder Scrolls games are like this, though.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
But you don't have to read all the books. You don't have to listen to all the dialogue.
No.
Like, when you played through Skyrim, how many books did you read?
Maybe 1.
Josh?
The one with no text
honest,
in it.
if you read a lot...
I'm a book.
If you read a lot, that's fine. Some people do that. Some people read the book. The only stuff that I ever read in a game is when I'm playing Fallout, and I get I hack a terminal, and there's a story on a terminal because I found out and Skyrim might be like this, and I just didn't give it a chance, but I found out very early that when you hack terminals and you get stories in Fallout, they all have to do with stuff that happened like in that room or in that office building. So it makes that office building much cooler when you see like certain and Skyrim is probably like that if you read those books.
Well, the untold stories of Fallout, I think, are what make it great.
Yeah.
But I don't.
But I also feel like a lot of the Skyrim stuff, you see a lot of repeat books, and to me, that I won't read anything I see that's a repeat book because that means it's not going to have anything specific to do with the location or with what I'm doing. It's kind of just an insight into the general lore of the world, and as cool as that is, I don't have the attention span for it.
Me neither. In this case, no. I'm a reader, and I don't like this shit.
It's like I could be reading this, or I could just be walking into the darkness and finding some little cabin I've never seen before with like a guy who, that's much more fun to me.
So what Josh brought up a really good point while we were playing yesterday. We were kind of having a conversation about where they chose to go with the narrative for being an Elder Scrolls MMO. It's very much the one thing again, right, Josh? Yeah,
I mean, you are still the chosen person. You have Michael Gambon, Dumbledore, telling you this at the beginning that like, you have been chosen. It is you, and which is ridiculous because there are 14 people running around you.
I was just gonna say that's kind of annoying that they did that.
Is it us? Are you sure it's me?
It shouldn't be. There shouldn't be one adventure. The adventure should be you just live in this world and shit's gonna happen.
Right?
Exactly.
We're all supposed to be citizens of the Daggerfall Covenant or the Ebonheart Pact. Whatever what have you. We should just be part of the people. And I don't understand why they still feel this need to make it feel like you are special. Because no one plays MMOs.
That's how, what was that MMO we were playing for a little while on Xbox? They had the TV show for it.
Oh,
Defiance.
Defiance was like that too, where it was like all narratively was based around you, your character, your guy. And I was because we were all doing this shit together and handing in these missions together, and they were like talking to you specifically. I don't like that. Like I just like,
there's nothing that breaks the immersion like that when they're like, oh, now you must go kill the dragon. Go kill the dragon. And you run up to kill the dragon. There's already 18 people around there like hacking at it.
That's what happens.
And you're like, oh, I'll help. Like
you hit it once.
It totally breaks this immersion.
Yeah, I guess that's the point of like having sequences and stuff like that, so that it doesn't happen, but it still happens all the time.
Josh and I are running into this odd thing where like certain parts where there's like we're going into these smaller instances, like this little hut where we had to fight this boss yesterday, and we couldn't be in there together.
Really?
I don't know if it was a glitch or an odd design choice, but there's like these parts where like the give and take is a little weird, where they allow you to be together, where they don't allow you to be together.
I mean, I guess
quests aren't really shared certain times.
See, that's what's great about World of Warcraft.
Sometimes like I'll kill something and you get credit for it.
See, and that's what's really good with WoW.
Super unintuitive about explaining that.
Is that you can do shared quests.
Right.
And like, you can, and it was all about. I mean, I played WoW for like 30 levels, but Ricky in the other room, Ricky played for like multiple characters, all maxed out. And the reason why he plays the game is it has a lot to do with like doing those dungeon sieges with all your friends, you know,
instances
and sharing. I think like the main point of MMOs is that there's like a community to it. So if they take that out of the game and they make it so it's just a one-player game again, but you can just see your friend, it's not as fun. You want to be completing these challenges with other people.
I mean, that's the whole idea behind this, right? I mean, the reason they announced Elder Scrolls Online was because so many people played Skyrim and said, oh, I want to do this with my friends. Or I guess enough people said it loudly enough.
Everyone said it. I said it.
Let's do it.
Every time I turned that game on, I was like, no, what would be sick is if I could play this game with John, you know?
Yeah.
That would be sick. And Josh, sorry, I didn't know you then, so don't get upset like you did in the beginning of the podcast.
No offense taken.
But I probably would have been if I knew you.
Executed on that in some regards. There are certain times, like me and John were running around doing certain things together, but then some stuff is very sectioned off. You can't do it together, and that's not really well explained. There are also major balance issues in this game that we were kind of hitting yesterday, and I was continuing to hit today, where I will go into, like, you have to go into this cavern, and there's no definition of where your level is. Like in WoW, they'll be like, hey, this area is level 60 to level 80, you know, and it very clearly defines you should be here, you should not be here.
Right, they'll be like, you should.
And they don't do a very good job of that in Elder Scrolls. And it's so bad that, like, I will get into a dungeon and I'll see 3 skeletons in front of a door.
Yeah.
And I'll go up and try to kill the skeletons. The skeletons kick my ass. Right. And I go, okay, well, I guess I'm not supposed to be here.
So some games are like that. That's how Fallout is. I mean, it's not an MMO though. So I mean, Fallout would have areas that you go to and you'd be like, oh, well,
and that part doesn't bother me so much. But after I get past the skeletons, like I'll barely survive the skeletons. I'll be like, oh, fucking finally, I beat these skeletons. Now I'm sure this boss is just crazy hard. This boss is going to be so difficult. And I pop in and kill him in like 3 hits. I'm like, why is this? This makes no sense.
I think you have to take a lot of your trained MMO constructs in your head, any paradigms you may have about certain MMO aspects, and kind of come into it with a fresh mind for this, because there's so many things I'm looking for that just aren't there, and I'm like, well, this isn't exactly WoW or Guild Wars or Defiant, something that really bothers me is when I'm playing with you or even myself, when you give yourself a buff or a boon, or like you have any kind of bleed effects on you, nothing is shown. Everything you just have to realize. And like if I'm putting damage effects on an enemy, any affixes on an enemy, doesn't show anything. You have to do it all yourself. Like you have to go pull up the status screen. So I think over time, being that today is the first day it's actually released and not early access, I think it's got a long road ahead before it actually hits a point that it needs to. I'm
sure this stuff. They're not idiots, right? I mean, clearly they put $250 million into this game. They clearly understand that it needs to be a success, and there are things that they're going to have to do to tweak it to make it the success they want. But just right now, day of launch, certain things aren't there. There's a ton of bugs. I ran into a point where I was being killed by invisible things. Yeah. And that's like, when I hit those things, it's really, really annoying. Stuff like poor balance, stuff that you can't group when you want to group, things like that. And I believe they will fix that at some point. It's just how quickly it becomes the game they want it to be.
it has so much promise, and I have to say the first day I played it, I didn't like it. I really didn't. It might just be that MMO feeling you get when you come in and like I jumped in with you and your buddy. Sorry, what was his name again?
Drew,
and out of nowhere, I'm involved already. And like, all right, we're completing quests. We're doing stuff. We're doing all this shit. What's going on? And I have all this shit in my inventory. I have no idea what it does. Like I'm throwing things out. I'm deconstructing things. And then the next day I played by myself for like 2 hours and I was like, okay, I get it. So you take this here, you use these. Like even last night we were learning how to charge weapons back up again with soul gems.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, okay. Like things are coming to you slow. And when you make those leaps, like when I hit level 10 last night and I changed my armor over and everything started looking good, I felt a little better about it. I was like, okay, maybe I'm actually building something I like here. I went through 2 characters before this where I didn't know what the fuck I was doing. Like, so in the beginning, you pick between 3 clans or races, like the Ebonheart Pact, the Daggerfall Covenant, and the other one. And then
Aldemary Dominion.
Sure. And then you choose your race. So it's like Dunmer, which is Dark Elf, Argonian, which is the lizard people. You know, like all that. There's like what, maybe almost a dozen of those. Like maybe eight. And then after that, you have to pick your out of 4 classes, which is basically they're kind of like Dark Souls classes where they don't really mean too much, but they do decide like your skill tree in a way. But you can like wield any weapons or anything that you want. But certain races are more inclined. Like, excuse me, I chose Dunmer, which is good for dual wielding, which is what I wanted to do. But the first time through, I wanted to dual wield. I picked Wood Elves, which are not. They're not as good at that. So it's like, well, fuck that. I'm going to start over and make the optimal build because why would I be something that doesn't, So there are certain ways to play things better, despite the fact that they play this off as like you can completely customize anything you do. While true, it's not optimal. Therefore, I feel like I'm being inefficient. So my first 2 characters are in the wind right now because I deleted them and it took a couple of tries before I found my optimal dude. So I did a little bit of research, which I really didn't want to do.
Nerd.
Yeah, exactly. Like I didn't want to do that. I didn't want to be like, okay, what's the optimal build for Dunmer Elves? Let's see here. Search Google. Okay, everyone says it's dual wielding. So I'm sitting there like, no, I kind of want a casual MMO experience, which I guess once you go over a certain bump, you can coast with it a little bit.
Mm-hmm. I don't feel like there's anything casual about this game.
Yeah.
Like I think that, you maybe can just do a little minimal research and get into it, but I feel like between the crafting, which is different for every race, like every race crafts their own thing and needs their own element, which is readily available. And then you have to, you have to focus on how you're crafting, what you're getting. There's tons of different ways to learn your craft between deconstructing, researching, improving. There's lots of different ways for you to understand that. And when I played the beta, the crafting was really, really even more poorly explained than it is right now, which it's still not very well explained. And I hit level like 30 something and literally got to a point where I couldn't advance because I had passed all my crafting, like all my level 1 crafting materials, and should have been into a like mid-range of crafting, but didn't know how to do it. And it fucked me because I was just in this place where I didn't have enough skill to progress. Mm-hmm. And so it's almost required to figure out how to do everything before progressing yourself to a higher stage. And so I feel like anyone who hops into it, I'm really, really interested to see how the console launch goes, because I'm interested to see a bunch of people who are like PlayStation, Xbox fans get on and either struggle with it or just go, oh my God, this is not the Skyrim I know.
Yeah.
This Skyrim really streamlined.
It's going to be a pretty big smack in the face. That being said, though, the game is fucking beautiful. I'm playing it on medium, and it's funny going from like Guild Wars and WoW and just knowing that kind of like expansive world graphical nuance, and then coming into this and being like, holy shit. Like, you go into certain dungeons and you're like, I feel like I am playing Skyrim. So, I don't know. Right now, as we're doing this, where Gregg is signing up.
I'm trying to find a username.
Just do Gregg Andrew.
No, I wanted to be Daniel Plainview.
They already did that. Look, he's like, Gregg. Can I do my username? It's Gregg. And I put XOXO on the either side of it. We had a good laugh while you were talking, Josh. But Yeah, you know it's a monthly fee, right? Okay, just making sure. The first month's free. But yeah, I'm excited to see what you think about it, Greg.
Bill cutting.
They have bill cutting. Are you going to remember that? I probably shouldn't have started signing Greg up while we were podcasting because now we can't hear him. He's talking and we can't hear. Here, Greg, talking to my mic.
Just let me do this later.
Okay, but it's a pretty long download.
I'll do it later.
Okay. Well,
You can start the download before you go to bed. That's what I did.
Yeah, that's what I'll do.
yeah, and you're gonna.
I gotta think of a good username.
But you're gonna-
because I'm always Greg Andrew, and I'm trying to lose the Andrew thing right now. I'm in a phase where I think I'm about using my last name from now on. I'm thinking about phasing out the Andrew.
Really? But your domain name is Greg
I'm
Andrew.
gonna buy my last name, gregdelarocca.com. I think I'm just gonna go to I have a good last name.
You're gonna have a rebrand, huh?
I'm gonna do a rebrand. What do you think, Josh? Greg Delarocca or Greg Andrew?
It should be Greg D Rock.
And I like Greg. I like Greg Delarocca. You should do what you feel comfortable.
I think
with.
I'm.
What do you want? How do you want to be remembered?
I think I'm ready to be myself. For a while, Greg Andrew was my pseudonym that I was gonna kind of like, no one knows me. I'm gonna come out and be great. Now I'm ready to be Greg Delarocca.
Greg, we have the same number of syllables in our name.
John Azalona. Greg Delarocca. Oh my God.
Isn't that so neat?
Oh my God.
Me and you are such good friends.
Joshua Hinkie.
No.
No, it don't work.
What's your
I actually have two middle names. I have Arthur, and then my mother's maiden name is my second middle name.
Yeah.
Well, I have a confirmation name.
No, this is like my actual name. Like the government fucking hates me.
All right, so let's hear it then, so they can hear
Let's
on
do
the
it.
NSA.
Joshua Arthur Borgerding Hinkie.
Borgerding?
Borgerding.
Borgerding.
Can you spell that?
Don't you know? It's Borgerding.
Borgerding.
That seems like something I would
I
say.
think I'm gonna make that my username for Elder Scrolls.
Josh, if we go to a bar, well, we're definitely gonna go out during PAX, but just remember, we're all gonna take a shot. You're gonna be like, cheers, and Greg's gonna be like, cheers. And I'm gonna be like, Borgerding.
Borgerding.
Borgerding. Everybody, Borgerding.
I like it.
Something we'd say before a shot.
Yeah.
But I tried to have my middle initials. Like when I was like wanted to be a cool up and coming writer, I was like Joshua A.B. Hinkie. And I actually had a professor look at me and be like, "Hey, don't do that. You sound like it's like, oh, all right.
What are you trying to do? Really?
Well, who do you? Your name is clearly Josh.
It would be cool if you made your
that's how you
name.
introduce
If
yourself.
you made your name,
Don't go around telling people about your middle names, whatever they may be.
just make it AB. Yo, what up? It's me, AB.
It's me, A.B.
No, you could be like Jab.
Oh,
Jab. J-A-B.
Yeah, Jab. No, it's Jad.
Jab H.
I think of Jad Abumrad from
Jabbage.
Back when I wanted to own my own record label, I was going to call it Jab Productions.
That's neat. It's like when it's like Baby's first logo in high school when you take graphic design. Like, yo, it's Jab Productions.
Jab. Yeah.
I want to talk about Dark Souls 2, but I'm not gonna. I tried to stream it when I fought a certain boss the other night, but I was having trouble. Anyway, Dark Souls 2 is awesome. So that's Dark Souls, but we've already going long. Let's talk some news, gentlemen.
Okay. On that same vein, I'm just gonna jump in and say Loof Trousers is also awesome. I won't talk much, but it's great.
I haven't played Loof Trousers. I have to, but dude, seriously, I've been playing so many goddamn video games. I can't. Greg, let's run the news again.
Live from New York, it's John Azalona with the AwayCast news segment.
What's to be a millionaire theme song?
Is there a studio audience?
Good evening. I'm John Azalona, and here's the news. I'm turning to face the camera. All right, our first story up.
Shut the fuck up. I love that you told people what you did. Turn to face camera.
Yeah, I'll do that.
Awesome.
John faces the camera.
Our first story up. We have quite a few tonight, folks, so let's all stay on point now. We're gonna go to Greg. We have a big acquisition here, Greg.
Do we, John?
We do. Hold on, let me ruffle my papers. Turns out some company, French company, I think, they bought the Oculus Rift program.
That's right, John. I'm live
of the
tonight.
Oculus Rift and the Facebook logo.
John, I'm live tonight in California at the actual Facebook headquarters. Here to talk about the acquisition. Do you have any? What?
I'm sorry, your feed's coming in a little. Yep.
But
So, we know that you're friends with Mark Zuckerberg, and we heard that you guys did not want to take it over just purely for marketing purposes. Is that true?
Listen.
I don't know. $2 billion is a lot of money.
Listen, all I could say is this. I think my personal opinion is this isn't going to be as bad as people think.
No, I don't think so either.
No way.
I mean, at first, okay, let's start at the beginning, all the new shtick aside, right? So this happened, and immediately, even to Gregg, I texted him. I was like, that's depressing, huh? Like another one of these. But after a couple of like press releases and hearing about it and kind of just like throwing some logic into it, it doesn't seem like the worst move. I will remain cautiously optimistic, though, about the direction of the Oculus.
As long as they leave it open source for developers, and as long as he continues to as long as they, as a company, allow developers, the gaming developers, to continue to work with it the same way they've been, it's going to be fine. If anything, there's going to be more money behind the product. There's going to be Facebook is scary, but. And I'm sure there will be some sort of Facebook integration, but not for the games. It'll be its own thing. There'll be a new social networking version. There'll be new user experiences. They're talking about, sitting front row at every sporting event, sitting front row at every concert.
I was saying to Gregg, like, imagine them putting a camera in a baseball, and then you use the Oculus Rift to be the baseball at a ball game.
It could really be anything. They could use the 3-point camera thing where you can like fly around a friggin' football field while the game's happening.
You could be at any rock concert you want live.
Front row. These things, movies. You want to go to the movies? Pay $12. You can watch the movie on your couch, and you actually feel like you're in a movie theater.
Right.
This stuff is going to happen, and you know what? Eventually, it would happen with regular people taking it, private companies, the NFL doing this, this person doing that. But having a company that is just interested in taking over, and yeah, it's kind of scary. They're going to make it happen faster.
Dude, it's all about money. Like, seriously,
but
it's
you know
money.
what? It's scary for everyone, but ultimately we benefit from this kind of stuff.
Well, we've already benefited in such a large way by the Oculus Rift spawning all the competition it already has.
Right.
So alongside of, GDC's, not GDC's, alongside of the news of this acquisition by Facebook, we also got to hear about Project Morpheus.
Right.
PlayStation announced a VR headset, and alongside a bunch of other competitive VR peripherals at GDC. So it did its job by at least getting everybody involved and interested. And now people are exploring options for body capture in games and just like making games more interactive. And what they're doing is they're catalyzing the landscape change.
And I've also seen some really cool stuff with them using like newer goggles coming out that utilize AR, more. And I think that within the next 5 years, some really exciting stuff's going to happen.
You watched that video I sent you, though,
Yeah,
right?
I did watch that. And it's so funny because right before you sent me that video, I was kind of like laying in bed and I was daydreaming about how sick it would be if someone just made like a really shitty version of like, say, just say like Facility from 007, but they made it in a warehouse and they built the whole thing out of just like shitty sheetrock lumber and it looked like absolute shit. Right. But then they skin it in augmented reality. So when you put the goggles on, you're in that fucking level.
And that's funny because that's exactly what I sent you.
Right. And it'll be just like that. And you'll be walking around and you play like, you can have fucking guns and, whatever it is. But that would be fucking great. And it would be, it's definitely doable.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, the AR technology that they were showing at GDC was basically them having goggles on that map the room and they apply textures and they apply models to the room.
Yeah.
I think one of the things they had was like bugs popping out of the floor.
Right.
And
what's great about that, no motion sickness because you are actually moving around a friggin' room.
Right.
It's literally just like being somewhere else.
So all these technologies, I guarantee, would not have the same ambition were it not for the Oculus, at least, being as ambitious as it was on its own. So, despite Facebook acquiring it, sure, it's going to help it financially and have the widespread appeal with, because Facebook's demographic is everyone, for the most part. I think it's not going to hurt anything that's already in motion. I don't think, they still have, what the hell's his name from,
Carmack, John Carmack.
Yeah, John Carmack's over there. Another big name just went over there. I'm sorry, I'm so bad with names tonight.
They just grabbed the VR guy from Valve.
From Valve, right? So
Valve,
people are still instilling their faith here. Just a lot of Kickstarter people were angry because they feel like they made an investment and were wronged. And I understand that to a degree. You're allowed to be upset, but Kickstarter is not exactly stock options.
Everybody wants something for nothing. You hear some guy made $2 billion on something, and you go, "Why couldn't that have been me?" And it's simple, why? Because you're dumb and you're not smart
also,
enough.
anyone who thinks that we are literally on the cusp of having mainstream VR be our video game, the way we consume video games, is crazy.
Right. I think we're at least 5 years
not
away.
happening. You know,
I think the next 5 years
like
we're
this
gonna see
made the
development.
most sense. Sony releasing Morpheus had to have been super scary for Oculus because that's a company that has no revenue. They literally have no war chest. They are living on venture capitalists and investment bankers who are putting money into them. And so they needed help. And so to get $2 billion, to give them that help, I'm sure they're elated, and anyone would have done it. People should be happy that they have a place to call home and that they're not fucking bankrupt. Like,
Yeah.
I think it's really in the best interest of Oculus to do.
I just got a question. Can you have virtual sex for real?
Yo, what's up? It's Billy from Pornhub. Just want to say we're working on that technologies right now, so it will happen.
How much?
And
can
if
I
you want to
invest?
fuck an elf or an orc, we can make
It happen. It's gonna be $19.99 a month, or you could pay $190 right now for a year.
It's so.
You want that Japanese girl on your pillow to come out and actually have sex with you? We can do that.
We can
It's
make
really weird to think that people are going to simulate some odd things.
Yeah.
Me included. I'll probably get some weird shit going.
Yeah, me too, man.
Why not? $19.99, you said, Greg?
$19.99 for
And how much for a year?
180.
So you save $10. Oh no, it's 12.
You get 2 months free.
You save.
You get 2 months free.
2 months free. There you go.
So
I would pay that.
yeah. First game I'm releasing is called Bang Anything, and literally it just puts a vagina on everything in a room, and you can just have sex with anything you want. Yeah.
All right.
A game
It's gonna sell gangbusters.
A game I was thinking about that would be a great, I think, Oculus
I'm so
game.
scared right now.
It should be a little bit.
What are you gonna say?
It's a serial killer game.
Oh God!
Just listen to it. Please listen.
You can kill anyone.
Please listen. It starts out. I hate talking about ideas on this thing because someone's going to do this. You start out on a street.
It's already been done.
Okay.
I'm sure.
Listen, you're on a block and there's like 10 houses on the block. And you're like, Mr. Davy just moved in, and that's you. Your goal is to kill as many people on the street without people getting suspicious of you, and you can kill them any way you want, and it's an Oculus world. So there's like daytime and nighttime. You could sneak into houses and snap their necks, or like, they could be outside mowing the lawn, and you can run over them with your car, or like dig a hole.
Sounds like Hitman.
I never played Hitman, but
Well, you need to.
Well, I don't know what this Hype Man game is, but whatever.
You need to play Hitman.
no,
man.
but this is it's just a street, and everyone has personalities, and you meet everyone, and then they start to get then you could also start to blame it on other people, and you
I have a question,
You
Greg.
take
How does
trophies.
Does it work in real time? Like you're just at your house?
Yes, yes, it's 24-hour days. It's 24-hour days, so you can literally just be in the house all day, and then you can be like, oh, I had to work, so you leave your character in the house. You come home from work, you pop on, and you go, you know what? I'm gonna take out Suzanne, my neighbor, tonight because she's being a
Why?
cunt.
She's a bitch. What'd she
being
do?
a bitch, and her husband went on work vacation, so I'm gonna go over to her house while she's in the shower. I'm gonna drown her, and then I'm gonna take a trophy home. I'm gonna just cut off a toe.
You're gonna drown her in the shower?
Yeah.
Are you gonna pull the plug first? Or are you gonna plug the shower first?
I'm
Or?
gonna stick her mouth over the shower thing. Just gonna fill her up with water. And you can also take trophies. Like I'd take a toe off of every victim, or or I'll take the fingernails or something like that. And you can have a little trophy room. And then you can also be the guy that when people start talking, someone's doing this, you can be like, yeah, I think it's him, and get other people arrested. False accusations on people until there's no one left on the block but you, and you murdered everyone. And it's called Seriously. Serial killer.
Patent pending.
Greg.
Yeah.
What the fuck, man? What the fuck?
Come on, you tell me you wouldn't play that if it came out?
I would love to live out my fantasy on that thing.
Right. Of murder.
No, I didn't say that. My fantasy. Seems like you would like to play out your fantasy
You know
as well.
what? This is such bullshit, because the last time I had an idea like this, when I was talking about the suicide simulator on Oculus, you guys are both like, no way, bro, that's fucked up. No way, I would never want to do that.
Dude, the way you make it so down at home, it makes it feel so weird.
I just picture the world being like Tranquility Lane from Fallout.
From Fallout,
You go there and it's
hey,
like
Billy, and like white picket fences.
Yep, you're like a
everywhere.
little cul-de-sac and everyone's all happy and you're the new guy in town and no one suspects you, but you have like a dungeon under your house. And you're fucking,
rape dungeon.
And you're just fucking murdering everyone. And sometimes they catch you and the cops come and you have to one last battle. You know, you go out with a blaze. And sometimes they don't catch you and you kill everyone on the street until you're the one left. And the cops come and they're like, why is everyone dead but you? And then the credits roll.
I'm just. I want you to have like a 15-page slide PowerPoint presentation on how this game's going to work.
Yeah.
Like how is the character development going to work? Like
that's another great thing.
Suzanne next door. How do you get to know her a little bit first? What are the dialogue options like? How do you talk to these people?
There's in-depth personality generators for every character.
I like how that's what it is. Like there's no development.
It's
like
an in-depth personality generator.
in-depth IDPGs.
What it is it creates 50 personalities per character
random.
and randomly generates one of them per person, and they all have their own dialogue options. So it's all, craziness can ensue. Some of them are more wary to your presence, and some of them are dumb.
You sound like a dude explaining a game to me.
Listen,
that's like never played a game before.
Well, fuck you, John. Because you know what? Someone could make this game, and it would be good. It would be fucking good.
One day, Greg and I are going to be in our rocking chairs, and this game's going to come out, and it's going to be the best game ever made. He's going to be like, I told you. You see?
I'm telling you right now, they have that thing at PAX where you can pitch a game. You have 45 seconds to pitch a game.
Is this it?
And I'm going to pitch.
I knew I've talked more than 45 seconds.
I can imagine you going up, the whole crowd is silent. Like, everyone listen, Greg. And Greg's like, okay, murder simulator.
The guy, like, the panel leans over and they're like, well, thank you.
Murder simulator.
But what would be good is what would be good is if I came up and pitched it dressed like a serial killer, like just completely creepy
Patrick
with big weird glasses. No, like more like Lovely Bones,
Or
like
the
that
Bone
guy.
Collector.
Yeah, I just come up there and I'm just like serial killer simulator. You're on a nice street with families.
Has to, escort you out of the building. Like a rent-a-cop comes up to you and he's like, "Hey, excuse me, sir, you've been asked to leave."
I'm pretty sure I would win, and then I would come back up as dressed up as someone else and do a suicide simulator.
And be like, no matter what, he gets away with it. No matter what. Oh, you just picture that, like, murder simulator. Oh, my head hurts from laughing. That was
pretty
good.
funny. We filmed that if I did that.
That was great. They would it'd be very weird.
Yeah.
But we should do it. Yeah. Phil Spencer's now the head of Xbox, all of Xbox.
Yay, good for him.
Good for him.
Philip Spencer, you finally did it.
Congratulations.
You are the king of the company. You climbed the ladder, the company ladder, and now you're making much more money. Spencer.
Seems like a lot of shifts going on in companies. I suppose the end of a console generation is a good time to do that. So now he's head of Xbox, which also means a lot of other stuff. There's like 5 sub-companies within that.
Yeah.
Whatever. Adam Sessler has left Rev 3 Games.
The cess is gone.
No more Address the Cess. No more...
Look, I gotta say, John's obviously unhappy. He loves cess. And I like him too.
Great.
But I read, and John didn't like the little thing that he wrote on his website, but I read it, and you know what? I got it. Because I thought about a guy who's, is he in his 40s?
Yeah.
A guy in his 40s who for 20 years, or 15, whatever it is, for 20 years, has been writing for this industry that is so impossible sometimes.
The word I use is vitriolic.
He's just writing and playing these games, and it's almost like probably something that he loves so much. Playing games is probably a lot of work a lot of the time for him. So he has that, and plus he has kind of a culture that's being taken over by kind of like fucking dumb fucks all the time in social media.
Right.
And I feel like his voice is just being silenced slowly by the overwhelming population of people's opinions.
I agree with all that.
And he's just getting tired of it. And his whole thing that he said is he has other endeavors. He's a smart guy, and he says he's trying to find other ways to move the industry forward. So I can just imagine him writing being a part of a creative process, and I think that's more exciting. I think that's a better thing for him.
There's a lot of those.
Absolutely.
A lot of journalist veterans jump over and help on the development side. He might be one of the next ones to do it.
Yeah, I agree with Greg. I know he kind of set me up to be on the opposite end of that. I just wasn't. He is brilliant in his writing, and he is absolutely just a ninja when it comes to words.
But you know what? Anyone can do what he does. They won't do it as good, but anyone can do what he does. And I think that probably gets to a person after a while. Like Cesar's leaving, they'll just find some cooler looking guy
I'll do it.
to come in and do what he does. And they'll do it exactly what he's doing. People will still listen to him.
I'll do it.
And if anything, someone like Adam Sessler who writes so almost like poetically when he talks and it's very, he puts a lot of time into his words. I feel like that gets lost with a general audience of gamers.
Absolutely.
So I think for him, he's probably just like, I'm putting all this effort into trying to make this different or try to say things a little bit more, try to make this medium more important and show that it's more of an art form. But no one's really listening. Everyone's shoving.
I think you're wrong there.
No, listen, dude. When I say no one's listening, I don't mean no one. I mean the general demographic does not give a shit, and they could put some other dude in there with a Mountain Dew T-shirt on, and everyone's going to listen just as much.
I think you're right. I think more specifically, it's more like the feedback he gets from people are from those fucks. Like, because I know everyone our age that is into gaming loves Sessler. Like him and Jeff Gerstmann are like the only two people I will really...
I think you'd be surprised how the demographic is. I mean, but like I think that we make up a minority.
Oh, absolutely, dude. Like I know, I'm well aware of that. But to say that, like the content is definitely getting to more people like us and people older than us and in their 50s and even 60s, some people. But the vast majority and the people that feel like they need to have a voice are those young, insecure internet people. So that's what I'm saying. I'm not saying like those people don't make up the majority, but they also like push their voice more than anybody else because they feel the need to. And I'm sure, I see it on Adam's Twitter feed, I see it on his website, and when he has addressed the CES, like all these young kids coming on, like it's almost feels just
it's
gross.
Awkward. It's awkward when I watch, address the CES, and they have these two kids on there, and they're just like these like fat, just like 9-year-olds, and they're just like, I play Minecraft. And that's fun.
You know how to get a horse in Minecraft? And and Sessler's like being polite, and
that's what I hate the most about it, is that he's still not. He's so just like, okay, yeah, that's a good opinion. Okay, good.
Think of the shit he's dealt with in the past 20 years. I couldn't imagine. But all the best to him. I hope he still produces content somewhere because he's a great guy for the industry.
Yeah. He'd probably be good at Geek Squad. He's pretty smart.
Yeah, I think he should work at Geek Squad to fix the computers.
I think he'd be a good
Best Buy is going to give him a call. Hey, you want to work at the Geek Squad?
We heard you're good with computers. Well, Rev 3 took 2 big hits this year. Max Scoville left for Destructoid, and Cess was kind of like their revitalizing...
Cess left for the sun. He's gone.
Don't fly too close, Cess. We love you. Oh my God! We should have that on a fucking soundboard, Greg, because we always...
Yeah, we might as well at this point.
I just like doing it with my voice, though.
Oh, you like to hear your own voice?
No, I just like to be more in control of all the inflections and everything, and just be able to change it.
Greg is the soundboard. Fuck
no, Jurassic Park.
All right, the last thing I want to talk about, we have a few things here, but I think the last thing I want to talk about is the Amazon Fire TV was announced.
Amazon Firebox.
I love that name. I wish they called it the Firebox. That's like a dirty term for a redhead, isn't it?
Yeah, it sounds dirty. And then I took it back, and we got into our Firebox, and
Yeah.
All right,
get a sweet Firebox.
So this thing pretty much plays cell phone games, right?
I wrote a quick little article about it in our news section, and I'm blown away by this. We all knew that Amazon was coming out with something, right?
Yeah.
But the press release that they came out with was like the best way for Netflix and all your apps and blah, blah, blah. Like I feel like I was watching an E3 presentation from like 2007. Right. Like I couldn't.
Well, no one's going to buy that if they have an Xbox or a PlayStation.
I have Amazon Prime already.
This smells like failure.
It does. I have Amazon Prime also hooked up right to my Xbox with Netflix. And also, guess what my Xbox does pretty well? Plays games. So I don't have to...
So they're scooping up people from all... the obvious reason that we're bringing this up is because the thing is actually a game box. It has 2 gigs of RAM, quad-core processor, enough to play some games that are optimized for the system.
It's kind of nuts that those specs for $99.
Yeah, but you know what? No, not really. Like,
No?
think
Yeah.
about it, dude.
Yeah, well,
You built this laptop not too long ago. Think about how much RAM costs, quad core. You know, for $100 for $500 you can get a PC. Like,
well, that laptop was like $2,500.
yeah, same for the computer I just bought. Same thing, and that has 16 gigs of RAM.
Yeah.
You know, so 2 gigs, I don't know what you can get away with at this point. But anyway, they have games in development. They have a version of Minecraft coming out for it.
They're going to be cell phone games. You're going to be playing Angry Birds. You're going to be playing your Words with Friends.
Well, they threw some big names out there like Ubisoft and Disney and blah, blah, blah.
Well, and they grabbed Kim Swift, who did Portal and Soulfjord, and they got Clint Hawking, who did Far Cry 2.
Look, I'm telling you right now what's going to happen is these games that these companies are going to develop they're going to make sure that these games also work on fucking cell phones and that kind of stuff. Because when the Kindle Firebox when it fails in about 4 months, when's it released?
It's out now. I think you can get it now.
When it fails in a few months, all these devs that put these time into these games are going to want to make money from somewhere else. So these games are going to work on your cell phone.
That's what
Yeah,
happened.
it's hard to imagine anyone signing an exclusive agreement to
Yeah.
only work on the Firebox.
No way.
That's why Towerfall, Ouya's big marquee title.
This reminds me of Ouya.
Yeah.
Yeah,
A lot of
It reminds me of a Ouya that you can put your Netflix on.
absolutely. I mean, that's what I wrote the article kind of parallel to.
I told you, I've only read Welcome to Dead House and Josh's Titanfall article. That's all I've ever read.
I link you to my shit though, Greg. You should probably look at it at some
I
point.
look at the pictures.
Oh, that's good. I also make those pictures. That picture is pretty
I
good.
like the pictures.
Yeah, so they have this one game. God damn it. I don't have the name up. I should have the name up for their big exclusive title. Hold on, I'm going to pull it up. But in the meantime, they have a controller out that has like a play, rewind, pause button on it. Looks kind of funny.
I saw that.
Hold on, I'm pulling it up. It's called Sev Zero. Zero. It's this
Firebox.
It's like a sci-fi Tower D game, kind of like Sanctum, but it's third person.
Is it going to be released on other consoles also?
No, as of right now.
That's exclusive.
But the other games that I have here are Minecraft Pocket Edition, Asphalt 8, The Game of Life.
Those are all cell phone games.
Yeah, and the developers that I have down here are Mojang, EA, Disney, and Ubisoft. And I finished the article off, Greg, just to let you know with...
You talk about me in it?
Yeah, I said, Greg, we know how set-top boxes work at this point with applications and video streaming. But will the Amazon Fire TV change the game, or will it be the next Ouya?
Will the Amazon Firebox change the game?
The controller kind of reminds me of the Wii U Pro controller a bit. Has a big Amazon logo on it.
Yeah.
I don't know, dude. This thing has failure just smeared across the front of it.
I give it 6 months.
What I wrote about was like, Amazon is a giant. It is a titan of a company. So they have, it's not like the Ouya where it's this like small indie funded Android games playing movement. It is Amazon. So I think they're going to invest a lot of money keeping this thing afloat somehow, which means they're probably going to have to introduce something that actually gives it some value. You know, I don't know what. Maybe some kind of
It's going to be nothing.
Maybe a free Amazon Prime.
There's not going to be anything good enough to give this thing value.
Yeah, I agree. I agree with both of you. I think Amazon can try, and I think that a lot of those developers, a $99 set-top box that plays Android games sounds like a good idea to people who don't fucking know the gaming community. Right. People who play Android games are not the people who buy set-top boxes. Or at least they might do both, but they don't want that experience on their set-top box. They don't want their consoles to play Flappy Bird. They'll play Flappy Bird on their phone or on the toilet.
Listen, as long as I can get that stock market game that we played.
I never posted that. I should post that, huh?
That never went up.
Oh, yeah, it has to get posted.
Oh, dude, that was like the best one we did. Why isn't that up?
Yeah, I'll get it together now that it's relevant again. Now that we're talking about it on the podcast.
What was the name of that game? Does anyone remember?
American Dream.
Oh, American Dream.
That's
it. What a good game. We played the whole game.
All right, I'll put that shit up.
We beat the whole game.
Yeah, you had to invest in like Bill Cosby.
You had to
80s movie stars,
my God,
right?
You had to
game was
choose
so good.
what actor was going to do, make your money. And then you had to buy, it was like the really
The actor
funny
trends.
It was like Do they think? Do you own these things, or do they own you? You don't know. Buy a new TV set because you have to, because society says so. You know, it was
kind of like.
I learned a lot. I learned a lot about myself.
It was fun. All right, I got to post that up.
All right.
As long as everybody shares what I post, because
Listen, I posted our shit on Reddit, and people on Reddit are bastards.
Yeah, but that's fine. I don't care. They still look. It doesn't matter. We have a decent amount of traffic, honestly, for our first month with a website.
Yeah.
I'm not concerned as of this moment.
All right. Good to hear.
But yeah, more people are trying to explore games, and I don't get it. I just don't get it.
Just leave it alone.
Oh, one thing that should be known is that the games are going to be they're going to be priced like mobile games, by the way.
Because they're going to be mobile games, John.
I know. I'm just saying.
Durr.
What was everybody's favorite April Fool's joke?
I
put a list up on the website if anyone's interested.
Yeah. I like Optimus Prime. I thought that was a good one.
Yeah, I can't believe some people actually believed it. I thought the most elaborate one that was kind of cool was the Pokemon Google thing.
That was alright.
Did
you see that? See that Phil Fish, his April Fool's joke was he got on there and said, Fez 2 is back on. And the entire world ignored it. Like, there wasn't anything said about it. I thought it was hilarious.
Yeah, it is kind of funny. Whatever. We've had our talks about Phil Fish before.
You fucked up, Fish.
Yeah.
We don't need any bad boys in the gaming industry. Just make the fucking games, you little bitch.
I think my most realized one was Razer, like the peripheral company, came out with the Eidolon. Did you guys see this?
Nah.
Well, it's on the website. You should check it out. It's basically this personal drone system where you put in contact lenses and you can see through the eyes of the drone. And they advertise play life in the third person because you could put the drone behind your head and watch yourself.
Yeah.
I can't believe they actually had to put April Fools on this after April, but it was very well realized. Everything was really well done. So check that out. Check it out on our site and link to their site. Also, last thing, Mario Kart new trailer today. I don't know if you guys saw that, but it looks fucking good.
Hip hop wahoo.
Yeah, exactly. Wahoo!
But you know what? For people like me, and most people who don't have the system to play that game, who cares?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Good point. Good point.
It's and this is I was thinking about this today again. I always think about this, and it's almost like I fantasize about Nintendo one day just being like, "Look, we're done with." I know what you guys are gonna say. You guys always attack me, but one day this will happen. We're done with the consoles. We want to put all our great games on all of your consoles so everyone could play them again. We're just gonna make games. We're gonna be a software company. We're done. We'll keep making our handheld hardware. We're done with the console war. I want to be able to play games on my Xbox. I want to be able to play them on my PlayStation.
So, Greg, talked to Josh about this, but for the first time in the show history, Nintendo will not have anything at PAX East.
Maybe they're on their way.
You're so excited, I can tell. You're like, maybe Nintendo's going to fucking crash and burn.
I don't want them to crash and burn. I want them just to keep making games because they make great games, and I would buy every game they make if I could play it on my Xbox. And it sounds crazy. People are going to hear that. That's never going to happen. But it happened to Sega. It's going to happen.
Well, we talked about it on our last podcast or two ago, when Nintendo kind of admitted that they overshot the projections for the Wii U.
Yeah.
And they talked about exploring different avenues because stockholders are not happy with Nintendo.
Yeah.
And people were saying, well, maybe mobile games. And everyone's whoa.
Just stop with the consoles. Get rid of the consoles and make the games for fucking other systems. Make it so we could play them on.
I'm gonna fight you with the same argument though. Before they go and give stuff to other consoles, they'll put everything into their 3DS or whatever the future.
No, they should keep making handhelds. That's fine. But we should be able to play games like these Mario games and Zelda games. I should be able to play them. I can't play them, and I'm not gonna buy a console for 3 games a year. I'm not gonna do that.
What if the Wii U is $150?
It's not worth it for 3 games a year. I want. My console is an investment. My Xbox is an investment because I'm going to be able to have many, many experiences on it. And it's also has to do, I don't want tons of shit. I don't want to have 15 fucking consoles so I can play 3 games.
Right.
You know, I have this fucking amazing piece of hardware. I'll probably eventually end up getting a PS4, but I have this amazing piece of hardware over there. I want to be able to play games on that, you know? I want to, and having 3 companies, one of them that makes amazing games, but their console is a piece of shit, and they only release 3 fucking games a year, might as well just fucking make the games for the other consoles, so they would sell millions of games.
Right, you're right.
If they released Zelda on the fucking Xbox, or if it was a PlayStation, whatever the fuck it is, every single person would buy one. Everyone who has the console will buy the fucking game. Everyone loves Nintendo. Everyone loves Mario. Everyone loves Nintendo. I want to play those games, but I don't want to buy a fucking console that I'm not going to use ever. It's going to take up space. I don't want it.
I can't argue with you. You're right.
Let's go. Just do it. Keep making handhelds. You make great handhelds. Keep doing that. You're nailing it. You're doing so good.
You're a hunk.
You're doing so good with those handhelds. Keep doing it. But stop with the consoles. You look like a fucking idiot. Just stop and put the games in my hands, and I will give you fucking $60 for them. I will give you $69 for them.
That being said, Mario Kart looks pretty gorgeous. It's got Rainbow Road, Donut Plains, Koopa Troopa Beach in it. New characters.
And 45 people will admire it.
Yeah, I can't. You know what's funny to me? We played Mario Kart on Super Nintendo, right? Yeah. We played Mario Kart on N64.
That's correct.
And that was the last Mario. Well, I played a little bit of Double Dash.
That's the last for me.
But it's like 8. What?
Yeah, I don't know.
I haven't played Mario Kart since Double Dash.
It's because SNES and Nintendo 64 were worth getting involved with because there were so many games for those consoles, and they were so good, and they were what there was to do. And then they fell behind, and they kept trying and trying to catch back up, but they can't do it.
They're playing the game of life, Nintendo. That's what you're doing.
Be smart. Put those games in my fucking hands, and I will buy all of them. I will buy every game.
You know what, Greg? Maybe go to Nintendo with your murder simulator idea.
I don't think they're going to like it. I got to go to a more edgy company with something like that. I got to go to the guys who put together, Angry Birds. I got to pitch it to, I got to pitch it to some... All
right, guys, let's wrap it up. Josh, you're the man. I look forward to seeing you next week.
Yeah, it's so close.
Yeah, well, let's play. Greg's going to get that ESO, so we're going to get together on Mumble.
Cool.
Gregg, thanks so much for chilling again.
It's always my pleasure to be here in my own house chilling.
I'm always happy to be in the presence of both of you guys, even though it's virtually with Josh.
Well, one of us is great and one of us is not,
So next week we're going to try to do some stuff with PAX. We're going to bring all our gear with us and try to relay some sick information. Josh has appointments all day Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Appointments.
Josh, I was
He's gonna be
thinking
busy.
maybe if some of those appointments you don't feel like going to, I can just be you.
Could do that, right?
Just send you.
Yeah, and I'll say I'm Josh Hinkey. I'm here to play this special game that only a couple people get to play.
So we're gonna have a good time either way. We're gonna meet some people. We're gonna have fun. Anybody that has any special requests, hit us up and we'll deliver for sure. So, guys, thanks again for this week.
Thank you.
We made it through March Madness.
We did it.
AwayCast.com. Follow us Twitter at the AwayCast.
Yeah.
See you guys next week from PAX.